Well, happy birthday once again. Maybe you might have guessed, I'm doing something similar to last year because I have no money. Of course, actually, I have much less money than I did then. Um, I'm gonna read you a script of a movie we both really like. And I'm gonna tell you something. I'm already learning more about this movie than I never knew because in the credits, one of the people that helped at least do some additional writing, he's not credited in there. I looked it up. He's uncredited on the actual film, but he is listed here in the script, and he did do, I don't think, major stuff, but he helped certainly work on it. Again, I'm not going to give you the name of it. You're going to have to figure that out as we read along. It shouldn't be too hard, but I will tell you this. So, name redacted by Neil Marshall Stevens, based on the screenplay by Rob White. Previous revisions by Todd Alcott, and Neil Marshall Stevens, Richard Diovidio, and James Gunn. I I'm telling you, I did not know he worked on this movie. This man, I hate being a fucking simp and this parasocial, but he's got this in his bag. He's got fucking Scooby Doo in the bag. He owns me, basically. Owns my childhood. All right. This is the revised production draft from November 4th of the year. I'm not going to tell you the year, but, no spoilers. So we've got different revisions in here. So this must have probably what they used for the most part. All right, you ready? Let's go. Let me make sure the audio is picking up okay. It is. Oh, lordy lord. Okay. Blackness. Superimpose. The most beautiful thing we can experience is the mysterious. Albert Einstein. Then, I do believe in spooks. I do believe in spooks. I do believe in spooks. The Cowardly Lion. So if you kind of understand what that means, it'd be like a black screen. That quote would come up in text. Then the next quote would come up in text. Anyways, titles. Can't speak. Titles. Abstract images begin to form. They move beneath the titles, brilliant against the darkness. The ghost-like apparitions fighting a current as if caught in the whirlwind of time. Our image sharpens. The apparitions are no longer there. Instead, police tape comes into focus. The seemingly miles of it entangled on stacks of derelict cars that fill the void. The tape dances before us, undulating to a macabre rhythm, floating on the nocturnal winds. We pan. I feel like you probably got it at this point, honestly, maybe already. An auto wrecking yard at midnight, empty, yet occupied. Light slowly invades the frame, filling in the wrecking yard's cavernous shadows. If you're hearing an extra noise, Gracie is snoring right near me. A distant roar announces itself above the soundtrack, the earth-pounding clamor amplifying in with every second. As if searching for its source, camera pivots around. I'm moving the microphone a little closer, adjusting, sorry. Camera pivots around. Instantly, we find ourselves caught in the glare of headlights, and we've just enough time to make out the semi-truck before it plows through the yard's chain link gate, shattering it like so much glass. The truck heading directly at the camera, running it over as if it weren't there. You must have it by now, right? I mean, come on. Exterior, auto graveyard, night. Ooh, that's a very garlicky burp. That's not in the script. Booming up and over the fence. The reason I'm reading this a little weirdly is because like a lot of stuff, I think for like, it's hard to describe why they do it because it can be multiple reasons, but a lot of stuff is like randomly, not randomly obviously, but it's capitalized and then done, so it's kind of tricking your brain into like how stuff is emphasized for speaking as opposed to emphasized for production notes, which is what it is. Booming up and over the fence. The yard is a veritable maze of old, rusted cars, piled up helter-skelter, frozen in time. Broken glass, mangled engine parts, garbage, and litter, along with hundreds of spent shell casings, are scattered in the dirt. A caravan of utility vehicles roars. See what I'm saying? Like, right there? Utility vehicles roars. That's exactly how it's put, and all three of those words are capitalized. It's one of those. It's just like it's kind of weird to read verbally when it's more of a note. So roars in behind the semi, the convoy making a bead for the center of the yard. Picking up the rear is a black Rolls-Royce Phantom II. As they turn the last corner, the first thing we see are unearthly flares. Dozens of them, bright as hell, lighting up the middle of the graveyard. The cars come skidding to a stop. Again, skidding was capitalized. Dust swirls. Exterior, Rolls-Royce. The rear door opens, and Cyrus Kriticos, if you didn't know before, you definitely know now, 50s, wealthy, immaculately dressed, not a hair out of place, steps out. His hand rests on a shiny, silver-headed cane. He surveys the flares, shakes his head. Cyrus. Alright, so obviously I'm not going to be able to match everybody there, so again, I'm not going to be trying to do impressions of anybody for the most part. I might try to do an impression of Matthew Lillard, just because I love his performance in this. But otherwise, like Cyrus, despite not necessarily how he sounds completely, he's getting a very posh British accent with the way he's described, of course. Cyrus. The little crusade is wearing thin. Rafkin. Off screen. I'll give them this. They are consistent. Oh, see, the movie, I'm thinking about it, it's going to be bleeding to my head because they're yelling in this scene for the most part, aren't they, in the movie? I think so. Well, I'll know very soon. Right? I am recording this before your birthday, but, believe me, by the time we watch this movie, I'm going to be able to be like, oh, that wasn't in the script. That wasn't, yeah. Stepping out next is Dennis Rafkin, 20s, unshaven, jittery. He's shaven in the movie, so that's interesting. I don't know if I've ever seen Matthew Lillard with anything other than like a mustache. Have he ever had a beard? I know he's had a mustache at times. I'm not sure. He holds his head in his hands, massaging his temples, obviously in pain. And then we have something in parentheses here. Note: whenever we cut to Rafkin, we hear a sense of perceiving tone, underscoring the psychic waves he's receiving. I'll have to be on the lookout for that when we watch the movie. Cyrus produces a thin, brown designer cigarette from a silver case. Taps it as he speaks. As cancer, lights his cigarette. Parentheses, lights his cigarette. Cancer doesn't light his cigarette. He says, as cancer. Parentheses, lights his cigarette. Never bet against human nature, Dennis. You'll always lose. Behind him, Rafkin suddenly lurches forward, racked by spasms. Cyrus turns with a slight concern. Cyrus. Is it bad tonight? Rafkin, coughing, shaking. Bad is one way of describing it, but somehow, wiping his sweaty forehead, insane seems more appropriate. Rafkin doubles over in pain, dry heaves. Rafkin, recovering. It's my professional opinion that we get the hell out of here now. I feel so exposed, open, and ashamed. Because I know exactly, I can never match to Matthew Lillard's performance. And plus I'm sitting in a chair. I feel like I know what he's doing here. I feel like I should be doing all that to really get into that performance. So please try to not think about how much worse my performance is compared to the god, Mr. Lillard. Two of Cyrus's team, dressed in assault gear, make their way over. Cyrus, ignoring Rafkin. Noted. Clean this place up and locate our guests. Cyrus snaps his fingers. An assistant steps forward with a large photo. When Cyrus turns around, he catches Rafkin gulping down prescription drugs. Cyrus strikes the bottle out of Rafkin's hand with his cane. Pink medicine runs down Rafkin's face as he turns with rage. Come on, Cyrus! I gotta take the edge off! Cyrus. You know the routine. First things first. Now where is he? That's not quite how I wanted to do that. Now, where is he? Cyrus holds it in the limo headlights, an aerial photo of the graveyard. Rafkin, closing his eyes, reaches out towards the photo with one hand, then touches the earth with the other. A silent moment. Cyrus. Where? Then a huge spark arcs between the psychic and the ground. Rafkin jolts back, as if shocked. Rafkin. Sweet Jesus, Cyrus, there's gotta be over 40 victims here. I thought you said this guy killed 20 people! Cyrus. 20 when he was alive. He's added a few more since then. Now where's the breaker, Dennis? Rafkin ignores the photo and points at a spot deep inside the auto graveyard. Cyrus grabs a headset from the assistant. Cyrus into microphone. All teams to Alpha. I repeat. Exterior, auto graveyard, night. Teams of men pile out of the vehicles. The back of the semi is open, revealing racks of remote-operated amplifiers. Others unload inch-thick, 8-foot square sheets of glass, rimmed with aluminum pipe, and inscribed with ancient text. The glass sheets are assembled to form a large cube. Arrays of flood lamps illuminate the canyons of the wrecking yard in a stark white. One side of the cube remains open, allowing entry, and, ready to come down in theory. That's kind of weird. So it's like, one side of the cube remains open, ... allowing entry, and, ... ready to come down in theory, and close the improvised mousetrap. Mousetraps in quotation marks. Rafkin walks up behind Cyrus, still massaging his temples. Where'd he get a name like the Breaker anyway? He a truck driver? It's simply folklore at work. The local color exercising its demons. Just then, a hideous howl echoes through the night, part human, part God knows what. Everyone stops. Rafkin swallows hard, tosses away the empty prescription drug bottle, then opens an extra-large jar of aspirin, pops a few into his mouth, crunches them like mints. Cyrus. Well, maybe it's because he broke his victims into as many pieces as possible. Exhaling smoke. Who's to say? Rafkin. Cute. A shrill cacophony of metal and glass erupts from the maze of the graveyard. A large, dense object flies out of the darkness and crashes in front of them in a cloud of dust. It's a crushed car. Cyrus sighs. I hate being rushed. Cyrus, this one ain't like the others. In parentheses, off the teams. I don't know what that means. I assume he's referring to the teams, but that's a weird way to phrase that, off the teams. Do they know what we're up against? These men are well paid. That's all they need to know. But this is suicide! Then I'll match their price and yours. You don't have that kind of money. I can't match Matthew Lillard's register, and I keep attempting it because I know, and I'm so sorry. Cyrus, you'd be surprised. Now get to work. This takes Rafkin by surprise. He turns, taking a step towards Cyrus. Cyrus backs up, his cane instantly at Rafkin's chest, keeping him distant. Rafkin becomes suspicious. What are you hiding, old man? Careful, Dennis. Curiosity killed the cat. Damon, off screen. Son of a bitch! Hold on, I'm reading this ahead and I gotta double check. I feel like I should know this, but it's kind of thrown me off. Just making sure that Damon is who I'm thinking it is. And that other lady is who I think it is. Who the frick is Ortezia? Is that... That's a weird way to... I gotta Google this. It's saying Sorry, this is really annoying. I'm gonna keep talking so it's not just dead air now. I was just like, it said, okay, let me read it and then I can tell you what I mean. They both turned to see 4 team members dragging an attractive man and woman, Damon Quinteros and Kalina Ortezia, over to Cyrus. Damon's a handsome chap with a righteous fire in his eyes. Kalina, his lover, is equally fiery, late 20s, tough and sexy. She cradles in her arms an ancient book. I'm just... Ortezia... If that's the character I'm thinking it is, that's surprising. I don't think is she shown in the intro? Am I just crazy because I can only remember Matthew Lillard doing stuff? I feel like she's not. No, yeah, no, there's a picture of it. She's there. Why the fuck don't I remember that? No, is she there? I can't tell. No, she is there, isn't she? Oh, I remember that now. Why could I not remember that before? No, she's in that scene, isn't she? I'm pretty sure she is. It'd be really, really funny if I'm just gaslighting myself, though. Would that not be funny? Sorry, so that... Well, I mean, I'll know pretty soon. Okay, no, there's not. I saw a thing, but it's just a random... There's not an actual 13 Ghosts reboot coming out. It was just some fake shit, sorry. Anyway, I got really off track there because I can only remember Matthew Lillard. Damon. How can you possibly justify what you're doing, Cyrus? It's out and out slavery. Rafkin. Oh, Jesus. Here we go again. I remember the scene now. Cyrus. Damon, Quintanaros, and Kalina Oretsia. Every time I hunt, must I scrape you off the bottom of my shoes? Kalina. These aren't animals you're trapping. They're human beings. Why don't you guys go join Greenpeace? We'll throw blood on the old lady's fur coats, for Christ's sake. We have business. Kalina to Cyrus. Bastard! Who are you to play God? Playing's for children. I'm going to be God. Damon. You'll never pull it off. Not without the right spells. That and the 13th ghost. Rafkin turns, alarmed. 13th? Cyrus. Get them out of my sight. We've wasted enough time as it is. The team straps Damon and Kalina to some car wreckage. Assistant, voiceover, on headphones. All teams in position, Mr. Kritikos. Excellent. Set up the transmitters. Cyrus turns away from them as he slips on a pair of ghost glasses. The rest of the team around the graveyard do so as well. Cyrus starts to climb a wall of cars for a better view of his battlefield. Rafkin, calling after him. Wait a minute! The breaker's number 12. You said we needed 12! Yes, and then one more. I thought you were psychic. You know it doesn't work like that! Exterior, top of car pile. We haven't got the time to argue. Into microphone. Now bring in the bait! Nearby, a silver tanker rolls into the canyon of cars. Rafkin, into Mike. We never needed bait before! On Cyrus. Cyrus, into Mike. Insurance. I can't afford to lose this one. Exterior, auto graveyard, night. A team member opens the truck's valves. Huge streams of blood gush out from both sides via two nozzles, flooding the area around the cube. Rafkin's jaw drops. On Cyrus, smiling. Cyrus. Power up the cube! Somewhere, a switch is thrown and the cube lights up. The symbols etched on its surface glow a brilliant green. Did they glow green in the movie? I thought it was blue or some shit. I don't know. You think, well, no, because, normally it's only been a year since I've watched this movie. It's been like 2 years. It's been almost 2 years since I've watched this movie, so, So I wasn't here last year. Cyrus into Mike. Base, stop transmitting. Rafkin, voiceover, over headset. But we haven't recalled the teams yet. They'll be stuck out there with... Cyrus, into Mike. Just stop the transmission. Interior, suburban. Tech. You heard the man. Stop broadcasting the spells. Another tech flips a switch, rolling a reel-to-reel deck. We boom out the door to the antenna and hear a high-frequency whine mixed with the sound of repetitive chanting. Ooga chaka, ooga chaka, ooga chaka, ooga chaka. I can't get this feeling. Anyways, spells being read over and over in Latin. Exterior, center of auto graveyard. Deep inside, at the sound of the chanting, there comes another ungodly howl, angrier than before. Ow! I imagine that's what they meant with the script and they got it wrong in the edit. I mean, he was meant to be like, ow, 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 baby, I'm playing on you tonight. Anyways, with teams along the perimeter, hey, Bubby, placing the amplifiers, shock instantly registers with the teams when they realize the transmission has begun, leaving them exposed. Exterior, top of car pile. Somewhere near Cyrus, there's an angry howl. Ow! Cyrus turns and looks out over the graveyard, smiling. Cyrus, under his breath, come out, wherever you are. Team 2 leader, VO, on headset. We've got movement, Cyrus. Heading south. We hear a crash of metal on the headset. A confusion of screams with Rafkin. I'm doing this because I'm not sure I'll have time to edit that. Well, I didn't really want to. I might edit a couple things, but it's more fun this way. Fuck you, actually. This is... Shut up. With Rafkin, the screams of men fill the air. Rafkin. Christ, Cyrus, what have you done? Off to the side, Damon and Kalina strain against the ropes. Damon. Dennis, listen. He's not telling you the whole story. His spells won't work with this one. They're not strong enough. Trust me on this. I know. Trust me. Kalina. Listen to him, Dennis. He knows what he's talking about. Rafkin. Sorry, guys. I'm just here for the paycheck. Exterior. Another part of Auto Graveyard. Oh, something in my tongue. What is that? Get some ASMR and be trying to get that out. Anyway, hold on. Okay. How long have I been going? And I'm barely into this. Where is that? Where is we at? 22 minutes already. I am so sorry. But you better listen to the whole thing. We see another team race down an alley. They turn a corner. One of them slips on something wet. He gets up, realizes he slipped in the unraveled remains of one of Team 2. Team member. Oh, shit. Team member number 2 looks over partner's shoulder. Mother of God. His partner turns as a great shape looms. Abruptly, something reaches down and snatches a team member up and out of frame. His partner glances back, sees his friend yanked up over a wall of cars, then into the wreckage. Exterior, top of car pile, continuous action. An explosion of blood splatters from inside the broken windshield. A hand struggles against the glass. A friend dies a horrific death. Exterior, across from pile of cars, continuous action. As hideous screams fill the air, the team member turns and starts climbing the other side. Rafkin rounds a turn, sees the team member climbing up the wall of cars. The team member looks back as they approach. Team member number 3, run! He's right behind me! Suddenly, a squeal of metal as something invisible reaches through the grill of the car and grabs the team member by the waist. He screams as he is folded over backwards and yanked into the grill of the car. Rafkin rushes towards him. We hear bones break as the team member screams. The breaker, unseen on the far side of the heap of cars, yanks on his victim, over and over, smashing the team member's chin against the grill, trying to pull him through. Rafkin does the best he can to pull the man free, but it seems hopeless. The man screams and screams. Abruptly, Rafkin's efforts seem, at last, to work. With a mighty tug, he tumbles back and falls onto the ground, looks down and sees that he holds only the man's foot. The wall of cars begin to move before Rafkin. I move my mic again. He leaps just as the wall comes crashing down. Let me make sure I didn't peak the audio there. Is that too loud? Hopefully not. Whoopsie-doopsies. Rafkin scrambles and runs full bore back the way he came. He looks back, speaks into his mic. Cyrus, the spells aren't working. He's tearing this place apart. Cyrus, VO, on headset. Calm down. Rafkin. You calm down. The son of a bitch is throwing cars at me. Cyrus, VO, on headset. History has no time for cowards, Mr. Rafkin. Rafkin. History's all we're gonna be in about 2 seconds. Exterior auto graveyard with Rafkin. Rafkin turns a corner and runs past 2 team members heading in the opposite direction. Rafkin. Hey, goddammit, you're running the wrong way! They don't slow down. Rafkin to himself. Amateurs. Rafkin turns a corner and realizes why the team members are running this way. A car at the end of this alley is tipped on top of its bumper, its undercarriage facing them, and is moving towards them fast. Rafkin and another team member, deeper in the alley, hear the howl, ow, of the breaker behind the floating car. Rafkin and another team member deeper in the alley hear the howl of the breaker behind the floating car. Rafkin, Jesus H. Christ, run! Rafkin runs, but the team member doesn't. Stunned by the sight, remained frozen. Blah. Suddenly the car stops and lifts straight up into the air over him. Team member's POV through ghost vision glasses. I wonder if that shot's in the movie. I'll have to see. The breaker comes into clean view for a fraction of a second. He's a huge 7-foot... I remember the guy getting pulled in and the people getting thrown around. Is there a time where a car lifts into the air and he smashes it? We'll have to see. The breaker comes into clear view for a fraction of a second. He's huge, 7 feet tall, acromegalic, the bones beneath the skin swollen and distorted. I don't know what that word is, and I know you don't either. I know you read more actual books than me. I'm gonna be honest, I think we might read the same amount at times. I just read a bunch of stupid fan fiction and shit where you read actual books more than fan fiction and web novels like me. But I know for a fact neither of us know what the fuck that means. Acromegalic. And not acromegalic. So I can guess now that I said it right. It's probably acromegalic. It's probably a big thing. Acromegaly is a rare hormonal condition in adults that causes some bones, organs, and other tissues to grow bigger. That sounds about right. Even if you were able to parse together what that word meant through it, doesn't mean you knew it. Because I know you didn't. He stares with burning eyes above a huge distended jaw. Is his jaw distended? I don't know. He wears, prosaically, a filthy, tattered garage uniform, his name stitched above the pocket. His face, chest, and arms are pockmarked with bullet holes dating from his untimely death. Let's look if it says that. I know he has it on the... Does he have any in his face? Let's see. The Breaker Ghost. Teen Ghosts, because I'm getting a very old movie called The Ghost Breakers. I'm going to look that up. Let's see, they don't call him the Breaker in that, do they? They call him the Juggernaut or something. You know, yeah, I guess those are bullet holes. I never really thought about what the wounds were. To me, I guess I just assumed they were just lesions or whatever, scratches. But yeah, those are definitely bullet holes. Some small bullets, though, for his nose. To really small caliber to have a bullet hole through your nose and still have your nose keep its shape. That is interesting. I found fan art of this character, which is not something I expected. More importantly, someone that has a tattoo of the Juggernaut? That is interesting. Of all the ghosts. Whatever. Back to it. He takes the car that he holds overhead and slams it down. The team member dodges out of the way, but the breaker picks up the car again and slams it down again. Where the fuck is it? Sorry, I had to make sure my recording kept going. My computer just acted weird. Slams it down again. Slams it down. Picks up the car again and slams it down again. Jesus. Squashing him. And then again. And then for good measure, once again. Exterior, auto graveyard with Rafkin. Rafkin tears down the alleyway. He turns a corner just as the wall behind him collapses. He's looking down a passage filled with team members, with the cube serving as its plug. A dead end. It seems the breaker has everyone trapped, instead of vice versa. Everyone runs towards the cube, splashing through pools of blood. Breaker's POV. The team members and Rafkin scatter before us. I'm assuming that so far it's the only real difference I can think of, because he's not called the Breaker in that, is he? I mean, because I know they all have different names, but let me make sure it's not. I know this is so annoying how much The Breaker Mahoney. Horace the Breaker Mahoney. Do they refer to him as the Breaker in that? Is he called the Juggernaut? Probably. I'm just a fucking idiot. Look, I know we've watched this movie so many times. All I can remember is Matthew Lillard because I love him. The song at the end, Mirror, Mirror. The one guy getting split in half and them ghost titties. It's a lot of it is those ghost titties. So please forgive me. Breaker's POV. The team members and Rafkin scatter before us. Men climb up the walls of wreckage as the invisible Breaker plows through, sending men flying high into the air. Rafkin slams hard against the wall, drops to the ground. Exterior, glass cube. A team member runs, looks over his shoulder at the pursuing Breaker. He doesn't see where he's going. He doesn't see where he's going and runs straight against the blood-splashed glass wall. He's blundered into the glass cube. In an instant, the Breaker's inside with him. I'm going to tell you, when my eyes first went over that, I skipped inside. And so I was reading the line. I was like, does this say the Breaker's inside him? Unfortunately, we don't get that version of the movie. Would be better. His entry trips an unseen switch. The final glass wall slides down, sealing the cube. As it does, the howling, "Oh!" and the team member screams, "Oh!" drop to silence. Inside the cube, something awful happens, but we can't see through the smears of blood. Rafkin regains his senses, scrambles towards the cube. No! Christ, no! Inside the cube, the Breaker turns, realizes he's been trapped, launches himself at the bloody sheet of glass, presses his face to it, howls. Ow! Rafkin recoils as the Breaker pounds the glass. With each ghostly blow, the symbols glow red, but the glass seems to have the power to contain the force. It holds. Rafkin. Oh, that piss you off, does it? You know what pisses me off? A dead guy throwing Buicks at me! Rafkin eyes the horror and tugs his glasses off. Tugs off his glasses. The Breaker disappears. Rafkin collapses in exhaustion. Rafkin, into microphone. I gotta hand it to you, Cyrus. The bait worked. You got your dozen now. Happy? A beat. Cyrus? Kalina, off screen, screaming, desperate. Help! Somebody please! God! Exterior, auto graveyard, tanker. Moments later. Rafkin rounds a pile of cars and sees... ... Kalina, on the ground, holding a dying Damon in her arms. His throat has been slit, and Kalina holds her hand over the gash, trying to keep him from dying. But it's no use. He dies. There's a ... there, but it's really funny to just say it. But it's no use. He dies. Kalina sobs. Rafkin's in awe, perhaps ashamed. Don't be ashamed. Get that money bag. Rafkin turns nervously away, and there he sees Cyrus's assistant, lying dead, bloody, and broken. And beyond him lies Cyrus himself. Cyrus's neck has been pierced by a long metal shard. His eyes stare, cold and dead. Rafkin brings his hand to his head, distraught, almost weepy. Cyrus, oh man, look at you. There goes my bonus. Suddenly, someone grabs his arm and spins him around. It's Kalina. She's sobbing and shaking and spitting and pissing and shitting and coming. Cyrus's glasses in Rafkin's face. Kalina. Was it worth it, huh? Playing God? Was it? Off Rafkin's... Off. I don't know, that's off. In all, like caps, off Rafkin's shell-shocked look. We pan over to see the ghost of one of the techs, ripped apart and bloody, studying the scene. Alright, I know for a fact we didn't see that, right? That's not in the movie. They don't show us a ghost of one of the techs, right? Am I fucking crazy? I don't think that happens. Dissolve 2. Interior. Large bedroom. Morning. A bright, sunny day. Through a glass window, we see and hear 2 children out playing in the yard. A Norman Rockwell picture-perfect setting. A young boy and a teenage girl romp in the grass. Then up to the window steps a beautiful woman, fresh from the garden. It's obvious that she's the mother of these 2. Over the giggling of the kids, she smiles at Arthur Kritikos, 50, sitting inside his bedroom, in a very comfortable chair, taking in his family with pride. We pan to Arthur as he smiles, content. A sharp knock on the door breaks the mood, and Arthur turns. Our uncut camera pans to the door. As it does, it sweeps across a desk decorated with family photos, one of which is the woman at the window. Camera continues to the door, where we notice the wall and door around Kathy, Arthur's 21-year-old daughter, has somehow aged from the pristine room we thought we were in. Kathy sticks her head in, pretty if she had ever had time to fix her hair, clad in a University of Columbia sweatshirt. First of all, I don't know what incel wrote that part of the line.
You'd be so much prettier if you just put a little more effort into that. If you just brushed your hair, babe, you'd be so fucking pretty. If you could just smile a little bit more, I think you'd get a lot further in life.
She stirs a pan of burnt scrambled eggs. Now that's a different intro. Am I crazy? We don't actually. First of all, my initial memory is we don't actually see the family at all in the initial flashback. It's just a panning of like the house as it burns. But this one you see that, and it doesn't necessarily have the burning, does it? It's interesting. Maybe that's later in the movie. Maybe that is. Maybe we'll have to see. You're probably listening to this and hating me like, what do you mean? Of course that's in the movie. You're like, oh, obviously it's not in the movie. Look, man, my mind is a steel trap for femboys, Matthew Lillard, and ghost titties. Anything else is gone. I'm a cinephile, but that just means that I pretend to like movies, but I don't. I hate them. Unless if it's Christopher Nolan, and then I love them. Except for those times I'm getting distracted. Kathy. Dad, it's almost 8:30. Shake a leg. You'll miss your first class. And could you tell Maggie to get the hell out of the bathroom? She had her 20 minutes ago. Continued. The door slams shut again. Our uncut camera continues to pan around the room. As it does, the walls begin to age drastically. Pictures disappearing, books vanishing from their shelves. The room and all its promise simply slips away. By the time we get to the bed, we notice only one side is occupied. The other lies fallow. Our uncut camera returns to Arthur, who sits unshaven. Also wrong, he's shaven in this. He's shaven in the movie. Unless he's not shaven in the very beginning scene, but I think I'd remember that. No, he's shaven. A lot of these people saying unshaven stuff. They were shaven. In a decrepit chair, staring out at the brick wall, lying just outside the window, not 10 feet from him. Gone is the world he knew. The beauty of a home. The sounds of a family laughing in the summertime heat. They are replaced by the angry cacophony of the inner city streets, its claustrophobic conditions, its hopeless yoke. Our camera continues past Arthur, returning to the desk. All are gone save one, the picture of his wife, which sits charred and frameless, propped up against a stack of bills. Interior hallway, moments later. Monk comes out of the bathroom and beholds, in the kitchenette of his small, cramped 3-bedroom apartment. A blur of activity. Kathy cooks at the stove. His son Bobby, 7, eats a bowl of cereal at the kitchen table, while scanning the obituary section of the newspaper. He records the different humorous deaths with a microphone and tape recorder. And I will say this, and I know we talked about this before, it's one thing if a kid's kind of weirdly obsessed with death, that just can happen from like, maybe they see like a dead body or just from a movie, or, some kids, it's just a weird thing that they choose to fascinate on, right? And while you can debate there whether it needs any serious psychiatric help or just light therapy or even just talking to them, or, maybe it's a phase, maybe it's fine. If a kid becomes super obsessed with death after his mother burns to death, that's one where, you definitely need psychiatric help. In the background, on the television, a black and white horror movie drones on. The original 13 Ghosts. We'll have to look for that when we watch it. I don't know if I've ever caught that. The nanny, Maggie, 26. Actually, it's the nanny, Da Riga, but why did I say Da? Isn't it Raw Digga? Why did I say Da Riga? What the fuck? That's her evil. That's the evil version of her, Da Riga. No, Raw Digga. No, it's not Meg. It's actually Raw Digga. But I guess they got it wrong in the script. Things change, of course. Just gets in the way, wiping the counter, pouring the OJ, setting the table. It's a very disorganized way of doing things. She's trying, sort of, but we can see from Kathy's body language that she's at her wit's end with the woman. Bobby.
Today on Death in Manhattan this morning, we notice a small leap in heart attacks in the city. Cancer deaths are down, and we have a special treat for everyone. A body was found this morning, decapitated.
Raw Digga cracks up. Kathy turns toward him, nonplussed. By the way, maybe you caught it when I referred to Monk before, and I'm saying Raw Digga. If I think of a funny name that these characters can go by, that's what they're going to go by instead, so don't get lost. And that funny name may even change. So be prepared. But just in case it was confusing, Maggie is Raw Digga, not Da Rigga. That's an evil entity. I shouldn't say its name anymore. I'll summon it. Kathy turns toward him, nonplussed. Bobby, find a healthier hobby. Bobby shuts off the tape recorder, angry at the interruption.
Kathy, I'm broadcasting.
Arthur enters, chipper. Oh, see, I fucked up. I called him Arthur. Monk. Morning, everyone.
Dad, they found a car without a head in the dumpster behind Dunkin' Donuts.
That's nice. Maggie... I'm fucking up! I already fucked up. I just gotta keep going. Maggie ruffles Bobby's hair. Monk pours himself a cup of coffee. Slides up to Kathy. Tony Shalhoub. Sotto voce. What the fuck does sotto voce mean? Soft... I'm gonna guess it means soft voice before I get there. Before I Google it. In a quiet voice, as if not to be overheard. Then just say that and keep this... And why you gotta have Italian in here? Get that shit out of here. Or is that Latin? I'm not sure. Could be either. Kathy, why don't you let Raw Digga make breakfast? That's why I hired her. Kathy, also Soto.
Have you tasted her cooking?
Kathy makes a gagging response while scooping eggs into the first of 3 places on the counter. He looks at the eggs burned in effigy, but continues smiling.
Dad, will you tell Kathy that keeping a record of deaths is healthy because it's in the interest of science?
Kathy, it's healthy.
She's being a real slut about it.
Bobby! Don't call your sister a slut! Thank you, Raw Digga. A term like bitch would be more appropriate. Slut is a term reserved for those of loose sexual morals. Something to be perfectly frank, Kathy could use a bit more of. Ha ha. Well, it's true, girl. When's the last time you had a date? Arthur pretends not to be distracted by the conversation around him, smiling and nodding. Kathy, why are you smiling? I'm pretending you're all perfectly normal. It's working pretty well, too. Monk turns toward the table and holding a plate of food and his coffee. Hey, Edgar Allan Poe, you finish your homework? Mr. Peterson tells me you aren't. He trips on Bobby's scooter. The hot coffee spills all over him. He falls back into the counter, knocking the pan of eggs to the floor. Jesus Christ, that's the 3rd time I tripped on that thing, Bobby. Get it off the floor before it kills someone. Sorry. Kathy, to herself. If we had a bigger place, we wouldn't have this problem. Monk, overhearing her. Well, we don't have a bigger place. So let's just keep our stuff off the floor, all right? Arthur wipes off his pants, but it's just one big stain. Suddenly, there's a buzz at the door. Everyone goes silent. Kathy looks to Tony Shalhoub, who checks his watch. Shit, I forgot the lawyer. What lawyer? I thought our credit was all cleaned up. No, it's not that. Arthur goes to the door, mopping his crotch. Ben. Mr. Shalhoub. Arthur. Brad Moss. Ben outstretches his hand. Ben, yes, how do you do? Arthur shakes his head. Ben can't help but notice the stain in Tony's trousers. All right, I'm gonna stop doing it as much. As much as I enjoy it, I don't want it to confuse anybody. By anybody, I mean the only person listening to this. Arthur, fine, come in. Is now a good time? It couldn't be better. Interior kitchenette, a few minutes later. Everyone sits at the kitchen table. Bobby is dressed for school. Tony Shalhoub is changed. Ben sets up a laptop computer. As you know, I represent the estate of your uncle Cyrus Kritikos. Kathy, I didn't know you have an Uncle Cyrus. Arthur, had. I met him a couple of times as a kid. My dad always disliked him. Said he squandered the family fortune. Kathy. We have a family fortune? Arthur. Well, no, Cyrus squandered it. Didn't I just say that? Maggie to Bobby. Isn't this exciting? You have a late uncle. Bobby. What's he late for? Kathy. His next birthday? Alright, I'm going to start giving them more exaggerated voices just so I don't, I'm not reading the names as much. Obviously, Bobby's already kind of he's got the sort of kid register with the lisp. It's a very rough, cheap, but it works. And then we'll see what goes on. The thing is, I'm worried about doing a voice for Maggie, because obviously when I'm doing it, I'm thinking of Raw Digga, and she has a very, exaggerated caricature in this movie that kind of comes off as, the sassy black lady. You can argue, that's a different conversation for it, but that is, I feel, how it comes off. I don't want to... Is it racist if I try to copy that? Because I'm not doing it because it's a black woman. I don't even know if it stated it was a black woman in the script. I don't remember already. But just because that's the performance I think of when I think of it. So... I lost my train of thought there, but you understand. Bobby, the penny drops. You mean he's dead? Now we get his attention.
This message was recorded by Cyrus 6 months ago. He asked that it be played for you in the event of his death.
Ben inserts a DVD into the laptop. Can I say that's the most unrealistic thing about this movie now? And it gets me on. And it's not like, oh, why wouldn't it just be a YouTube video? It would be a DVD, I think. That's kind of a thing with funerals. It's more so, bro, good luck finding a laptop today with a built-in DVD player. A built-in fucking disc drive. That shit's hard to come by, son. Hard to come by. Anyway, he inserts DVD into the laptop. Cyrus's image appears on the screen, distorted from the angle of the monitor. Cyrus voiceover on computer.
Arthur, it's good to talk to you.
Ben tilts his screen forward. Cyrus comes clearly into view. He smokes one of his thin brown cigarettes.
Sadly, if you're watching me now, that means I'm no longer among the living.
Happily, that makes you and your family my sole beneficiaries. The family members look at one another with anticipation.
I've instructed my lawyer, Mr. Moss, to deliver to you the essentials of my last will and testament.
Ben produces a small box, lays it on the table, opens it. Inside the silk-lined interior is a large, odd-looking key. Alright. Figure other stuff as it goes along. Kathy. I'm going to need to do a voice for Kathy to separate her, because from the other ladies. I'm not going to do a female voice. Let's do Southern Belle. Fuck it. A key? Arthur's just going to be probably my normal voice for the most part. Cyrus and probably Ben as well, as you may have picked up on. I'm doing a deeper register, a slower pace, sort of kind of like New York posh. Instead of a normal talking like here, it's more a bit more here. It's a bit slower, and then you add a bit of a deeperness to it. So it's I'm a bit more posh than you. I'm still American for the most part, but it's kind of almost British in a way, but it's not quite. I'm gonna tell you, but if you push it, then it becomes quite British. I'm not going to do Cyrus like this. I'm not doing, hey, me, I'm fuck Cyrus, criticos, yeah, bloody 13 spooks and inspectors there are. Anyway, a key? Arthur. A key to what?
A key to your new house.
A series of windows on the computer screen open to reveal a series of photos of an astonishing modernist masterpiece. We see the interiors, living room, bedrooms, kitchens, bathrooms, everyone at the table. Masterpiece? I don't know about that. Maybe too many windows for my taste. Personally, I don't want people to be looking at inside my house. A couple windows are fine, but that shit is all a window. Where's my privacy? Bathrooms? Look, every bedroom has a bathroom. Again, that's Kathy, the daughter. Cyrus voiceover on computer. This house is the fruit of my life's work. It's a one-of-a-kind home. I've led an interesting life. I've seen many amazing things. The only regret I have is that I never really got to know my nephew Arthur. This house is my attempt to make up for that. Enjoy. Perhaps we will meet again in another life. Cyrus smiles. The screen goes blank. Arthur can't believe his eyes, nor his good fortune. Wow! When can we see it? Ben, you know what? I can't do it. I'm just going to be reading the names and going back and forth. I'm sorry. This is probably the worst recording I've ever done. The house is yours, whenever you like. Kathy to Arthur. Can we go tonight? I'm still going to do the funny voices, but Ben to Arthur. I'm planning on heading out there after work. The directions are a little fuzzy. If you want to, your wife and kids could follow me. I'm not his wife. Kathy rolls her eyes. My wife, Bobby.
Our mom got burnt to death in a fire.
Bobby!
What? It's true.
Arthur. Robert, that's enough. To Ben. So, where is this place? Ben. A couple hours away. Kathy. Great, we can stay the night and come back in the morning. Arthur. We're not staying the night.
Why not?
Arthur. Because you have school in the morning, and I have to teach. We'll go look at it, but we're coming home tonight. To Kathy. Deal. A smile creeps across Cassie's face, giving her answer. Exterior. Damon's Religious Artifacts Store, day. Pan around the cluttered closed office at newspaper clippings hanging on the wall. Black and white photos of newly dug up graves. Autopsy pictures of about a dozen deceased individuals. Articles underneath each picture describing their deaths. It's gruesome, graphic reportage of things we'd rather not think about. No, I like to think, in terms of a movie, I like to think about it. The first is a suicide victim, found with her wrists slashed in her bathtub. Another's an archery accident involving a little boy. The list goes on, ending with a serial killer. One Frank Mahoney, a.k.a.
The Breaker.
Continue panting past books on the occult and Damon's PhD degree in parapsychology. I don't know where that might have been loud. I'm getting real close to the mic here. Where can you get a fucking PhD for parapsychology? Like maybe online? I guess it could be some fake bullshit. I very much doubt you can get one of those from an accredited college. That's all I'm saying. We land on Kalina herself, stuffing her worn satchel. A lamp illuminates an ancient book in front of her with handwritten notes and drawings inside. She closes the book and stuffs it into her satchel. Continued. Pull in tight on a short newspaper article featuring a photo of Cyrus. Noted adventurer dies at 57. In the article, underlined in red pen, are the words, survived by one Arthur Criticos. Cut to. Exterior. Ben's Mercedes. Night. Ben drives. He checks his rearview mirror for Arthur and family to see if they are keeping up. Interior. Arthur's car, following. Arthur drives with Kathy beside him. Bobby and Maggie are in the back seat, playing hangman. His microphone's lying on the seat beside him. Maggie. Come on, you're taking too long. Bobby. S-U-F... suffocate! I got it! I win! Kathy. Come on, you guys, we're almost there. Arthur can tell his daughter's anxious. Arthur. Excited? Kathy. Yeah, Mom would have freaked over this. Arthur chuckles sadly. You're right. Kathy looks out the window. An awkward beat passes between them. So you looking forward to going back to school? Dad, I've been thinking. What? Maybe I shouldn't, go back. I could skip a year, be with you guys. Kathy, come on. You can't do that. Remember how proud Mom was when that acceptance letter showed up in the mail? I know. I just don't know what you guys are going to do without me. Kathy's face flushes with emotion. Baby, Bobby and I will manage. Besides, things look like they just got a little better. Yeah, but that's not the point. It's just that every smile you have is... Honey, it's not real, Dad. Arthur's affected by her words. I love her too, but sooner or later you gotta stop blaming yourself. Arthur pulls up behind Ben's car in the foreground. Interior car. Bobby looks through the front window between Kathy and his dad. Cool! Everyone reacts. Dad, it's beautiful. Arthur. Oh my God. Exterior house. An enormous and majestic house made of glass nestled amongst pine trees. Stark against the evening sky, the house is awe-inspiring. Even for an English teacher, Arthur has a hard time finding the words. That's interesting. I knew he was a teacher. I don't know if is it ever specified in the movie he teaches English. I wonder. There's also a power and light truck parked in front. Exterior house, front porch, night. The group approaches the front door. It looks unusual, yes, but it's also an undeniable architectural marvel. Ben. That's strange. A young man appears, waiting in the solitary light of the porch, a clipboard in his hand and a tool belt slung over his shoulder. He's dressed in a power and light uniform, and on closer inspection, we see that it's Rafkin in disguise. He approaches the family. About time someone got here. You the owners? Ben. Who are you? Rafkin. The power guy. I don't know if you're aware of it, but this place keeps knocking out the power in the Tri-Quad area. So if you don't mind, I need to check the breakers inside. Ben. Couldn't you come back tomorrow? Rafkin. Well, I could, but man, they sort of frown upon that sort of thing, my bosses. Ben. That's not our problem. Rafkin. Look, I've only been doing this job for like 3 weeks. If you could find it in your hearts... Arthur. Sure. No, he's not that mean. Sure. Ben turns to Arthur. After all, it is Arthur's house now. Rafkin. Thanks, Arthur. Arthur Kritikos. Rafkin hides his reaction. Quite a place you got here. Kathy. I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to try to change. I'm going to do a super deep voice when I'll do a deep voice or something when I change between names. That way it feels more natural to me. Rafkin. Quite a place you got here. Kathy. Yeah, we're moving in. Arthur. One step at a time. Exterior house. Entryway. Moments later. Outside the main structure is an entryway with an inner and outer door, almost like an airlock. Arthur produces the odd key and slips it into the keyhole. The locking mechanism, visible within the glass, beckons. Arthur turns the key. As it turns, we hear the mechanism click and whir. Then, oddly, the key is sucked into the keyhole and vanished. Speaking of sucking, let me suck down some liquid. Everyone looks at the now empty keyhole, then at each other, then back at the keyhole. Arthur. Huh? Kathy. That's odd. Arthur. Must have slipped into the mechanism. We'll have to get that looked at. Rafkin. It didn't look like it slipped to me. I got a cousin who could fix that.
Dad, you broke it.
Arthur. Bobby, go to a station break, will ya? Bobby. Huh? Arthur. Give it a rest. Bobby reluctantly clicks off the recorder. Gosh, this was a lot easier with Saw because a lot of that movie, most scenes have maybe 2 people that talk. Interior clockwork room. Continuous action. In the basement of the house, in a dark space, we see a tiny pendulum with a delicate, antique set of gears come to life. I'm checking the recording again, about an hour. Tell you what, I'll be right back. I'm going to pause this recording just for space reasons. Let me double check everything.
Be right back.
Well, it was smart for me to check on that because this recording is going to go for quite a bit more, I'd imagine. And yeah, I only have like 12 gigabytes left, and recording data can fill up fast. I cleared up. I got like 60 gigabytes now of stuff. Most of it was taken up by a 4K rendition of the original Star Wars movie, like restored stuff that I've been watching. I just had downloaded at one point. Now I think the biggest file size is either Left 4 Dead 2, and I'm not going to get rid of that, or it's that copy I have of the first Harry Potter movie, but it's with guns instead. Still need to watch that. That'll be fun. Let's see. Where were we? In the basement of the... Okay. Yeah, we saw it. As we pull away, runes of odd description come into view. Etched on ivory plates, the plates attached to levers and meters, standing, poised, waiting. The lights in the room suddenly flicker on. We pull away from the odd bits of machinery, seeing it for what it is, a control panel of some kind. Our retreating camera then becomes engulfed by what looks to be a huge set of gears made of brass and steel, standing by. We pull out the other side of the gears, viewing the machinery's massive size. The gears works, that's how it's written, the gears works nearly 15 feet high, dominating a room filled with pulleys and steel cable. Lights flicker on from within the house. Exterior house continuous action. Lights flicker on from within the house, allowing us to... I'm going to have to turn my brightness down. It's a lot of blue light I've been getting. The most striking thing about it is that the house is entirely transparent. Even the interior walls are made of glass, putting the furniture, fixtures, and all the expensive-looking antique decorations on stark display. Everyone stares at the alarming edifice, fascinated. Bobby? Sorry, that's too much information. I think I gotta do what I was originally doing. It probably is the best, is just try to say it as emotionless as possible. Like, Bobby. How weird. Arthur. Apparently Cyrus wasn't too keen on privacy. Kathy. I hope the bathroom's in the basement. Arthur pushes the door open, and they enter. Interior, main floor, continuous action. The group comes into the entryway. Like an airlock, the outer door closes before the inner one will open. Maggie. I did mention I don't do windows, didn't I? The walls of the entryway are lined with rare ancient documents and exquisite cases, archaeological treasures, recognizably priceless antiques. The group looks around, amazed. With fascination, Arthur studies the text on the walls. Arthur, under his breath. Latin. Kathy. Dad, this stuff must be worth a fortune. Arthur. Yeah, that occurred to me. With a huge smile, Bobby reaches for an ancient samurai sword on display. Arthur catches him in mid-act. Arthur. In your dreams, kiddo. Continued. They come to a great hall, a soaring open space with a large stained glass ceiling, and, strangely, an equally large brass and copper floor, with only one other door at its opposite end. Fucking fly. Get the fuck off my fucking laptop screen, you little... Fuck off! I'm assuming that thing died after I flicked it at Mach fuck speed. By the way, that's all in the script, actually. That's not me talking. That was all in the script. Very weird. I don't remember that in the movie. There's only one other door at the opposite end. The room is a great glass cube. Rafkin, under his breath. Oh, Cyrus, what did you do? Arthur. Okay, first rule, no throwing stones. Ben. It's marvelous, isn't it? A living work of art. A few chuckles, but Rafkin looks troubled. Sweat beads on his forehead. That's weird because it's not a comma. It's just like I understand it's but you'd think it'd be like Rafkin looks troubled, comma, sweat beads on his forehead or sweat beads down on his forehead. But no, it's a single like statement sentence. It's a weird read. Sweat beads on his forehead. His head is killing him, and he's rubbing incessantly on his temples. I tell you, man, this country's got a damn fentanyl problem. Rafkin to Ben. Excuse me, the sooner you show me where you hid the basement, the sooner I'm out of here. Ben. I believe it's down the hall, second door on the right. Rafkin walks off, holding his head, leaving the others still examining the house. Bobby's eye catches on the design on the floor, made of a series of concentric metal rings. There's a brass disc in the center, 2 feet in diameter, with symbols etched into the surface, spinning slowly. Bobby goes to place his foot on it when Arthur lifts him up. Arthur, don't touch anything, at least until we get some property insurance. He places Bobby down beside Kathy and Maggie. Ben, Arthur, we have some papers to sign in the library. After that, I'll give you a tour of the place. Arthur turns to the three of them. I don't want you guys to move from this spot. We'll be right back. Kathy. Dad. Bobby.
What happened to checking out on new digs?
Arthur, you can see it all from here. Kathy, Dad, you're being paranoid and overprotective. Arthur, yeah, of all this stuff. I know you guys too well. Points to a spot. Stay right here. I mean it. The three of them nod, appeasing him. Arthur and Ben walk off. After a beat, Kathy, Maggie, and Bobby slip away. Interior basement. Rafkin descends the stairs. Downstairs is a maze of narrow glass corridors. Not much else. It's all very clean and sterile. Not a spider web in the joint. In fact, there's nothing alive down here. Rafkin removes a pair of ghost glasses, slips them on. An audio piercing gains in volume with every step Rafkin takes. Through ghost glasses. It's like a bulletin, like that's how the shot would look, sort of thing. Rafkin. All right, you sick bastard. Where'd you put my money? As soon as Rafkin reaches the bottom step, he's assaulted full force by the psychic waves around him. Ah! He keels over and vomits. He screams in the script. I gave that a good try, and it startled Gracie. The assault becomes too much. He collapses against a wall. When he doubles over in pain, we reveal a ghost behind him in the glass. It's a teenager from the 50s, a high schooler in a letterman's coat, the victim of a horrific auto crash. He holds a baseball bat menacingly over his shoulder. Now I have to go check that again. Is it a Letterman jacket? I thought it was a. Is it a Letterman jacket or is it leather? Is it a leather Letterman jacket? I don't feel like those come in leather that often. Let me look. Is my brain fooling me? All 13. I forgot a thing. All 13 ghosts. The 13 ghosts. Ooga da booga. If I can get an image of it, because we're talking about the torn prints here, right? Yeah. Okay, I need to fucking Google that specifically. Right, talk. Don't want the dead air. The dead air. Is it a... No, yeah, it's a Letterman jacket. The arms seem like leather. You know what? I probably thought it was leather just because, like, the movie is quite dark. The ghosts are all kind of pretty dark with their lighting and everything, so I guess I just thought that. And the arms are leather, but I don't know. I was thinking it was like a black leather outfit. It's not. I mean, it's not like we don't really see that character much, so, it don't matter. Sorry about that. Got a little distracted. Can you stop barking, please? Shut up. Okay, I am so sorry about the dead air there. He holds a baseball bat menacingly over his shoulder. Rafkin, sensing its proximity, turns as the ghost swings the bat with all his might. Instinctively, Rafkin leaps back, but the glass holding the ghost holds. With the exception of the red symbols that explode across its surface, the barrier remains intact. But the ghost within is suddenly gone. Rafkin lands with a fright a few feet back up the hallway. Sweet Jesus, not you. As he turns about him, another ghost launches out of the darkness at him, only to be stopped by the glass. It's an older woman. It's an older, pilgrimess woman in stocks. Rafkin's jolted by the vision. Not vision. He's driven to the other side of the hallway. Again, when he turns around, the ghost is gone. He turns to face the fat man and the little woman ghosts. This sends him flying. Rafkin races back down the corridor in shock. Soon he's lost in the underground maze of glass, confused by all the twists and turns. He finally reaches the foot of the stairs and bolts up them. Interior, Cyrus's library. Ancient weapons are displayed hanging on the walls. Arthur and Ben take them in. Arthur. Was Cyrus a hunter? You could say that. Arthur's attention is now drawn to the rare collection of books piled up against the walls. We pan following Arthur, discovering a pair of ghost glasses on a shelf. Mabel, shut the fuck up. I'm 13 ghosting my shit right now. Run! Arthur. This is incredible. Chaucer, Dickens, Hemingway? These are all first editions. Arthur carefully handles the books. Your uncle was quite a collector of many things. Ben removes a folder of papers from his briefcase, lays them across the desk, hands Arthur a pen. Arthur reluctantly pulls himself away from collection. Sippy sip. Yummy. I'm so sorry. These dogs are driving me fucking insane. Please stop. Please, if you could stop, that would be great. Mabel, seriously. I've highlighted where you're supposed to sign, indicating. First here. Arthur takes the pen from him, pauses. Look, I didn't want to bring this up in front of the kids. This place, it's amazing. And we're extremely grateful, believe me. But I don't know how we can afford it. I'm just a teacher, and the taxes on it must be... Well, to be honest, long beat, almost to himself. Fire took away everything we had. Ben. Not to worry, Arthur. Your uncle was a genius with finances. He took care of everything. Estate taxes, inheritance taxes, you name it. You'll never have to worry about money ever again. Arthur takes us in, scans the document, finds the highlighted area, and is just about to sign when... Rafkin, off-screen. Arthur! Arthur looks up and sees Rafkin standing in the doorway, looking horrible, not possible. Matt Hilliard's so cute. Out of breath, trying like hell to shed the vomit-stained power and light jumpsuit he's been wearing. Rafkin, panicked, rambling. We gotta talk. Arthur looks with panic at Ben. Arthur, what the hell's wrong with the breakers? My name's Dennis Rafkin, and Ben. Shit, you're Dennis Rafkin? To Arthur. My office warned me about this guy. Rafkin, an urgency in his voice. You gotta listen to me. It's gonna be hard to swallow, but I used to hunt, display spiritual energy with your uncle. What? PK, agents, revenants, Eidolons, Umbras, race, any of this ring a bell? Arthur looks back and forth from the lawyer to the vomit-stained psychic, thoroughly confused. Rafkin takes a beat. All right, let's do this the easy way. Ghosts, Arthur. I used to hunt ghosts with your Uncle Cyrus, and... Ghosts? Ben starts laughing, more loudly than is appropriate. Rafkin, rolling his eyes, stating the obvious. Disgruntled souls trapped on Earth because of unfinished business. Yes. To Arthur. Listen, you gotta get your kids and get the hell out of here now. Ben. This is one for the books. I've never met a real live lunatic before. Hey, asshole. I'm not talking to you. You can stay in here as long as you want. To Arthur. I know it sounds crazy, but this is serious. The basement is filled with containment cubes. If I were you... Ben. Arthur, this guy's been calling my office since your uncle died. I see it all the time. Some rich guy passes away, and all the nuts... Sorry, wait a minute. And all the nuts... Boo, 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 boo. Some rich guy passed away, and then all the nuts come out. Next thing you know, he'll be claiming Cyrus owed him money. You're damn right he did. It's bad enough I had to, talk your secretary into telling me where you'd be so I could get paid. Oh, by the way, she genuinely thinks you're a real bucket of shit. To Arthur. I don't give a damn about that. All I care about is getting my ass out of here. I suggest you do the same. Arthur. Look, I don't know what's going on, but... Rafkin's head starts in, again, hard. Now, I wonder if it was improv, because this seems like the most updated script I can find, but there's no way I'm getting this wrong. In the movie, he doesn't quite say it like that. I mean, he does say he owes me money, but he doesn't say you're damn right he did. He says, he owed me a shitload of money. I'm Googling it. I know, I'm not even going to wait. I know I'm right about this, and I have to prove it. Right? He's like, he's going to next claim your uncle owed him money. He's like, he owed me a shitload of money. Jesus, I can't spell. I'll pause the recording for your sake. As I Google this. Alright, I was right. I couldn't find a clip of it anywhere online, but I did find a transcript from the subtitles of the movie. And yeah, he says it. He's like, he did owe me money. He owed me a shitload of money. So at least I know I'm right about that. Anyways, he's holding his head. Rafkin. Shit. Either one of you got aspirin, ibuprofen, acetaminophen, Midol, anything. Arthur, what's the matter? You all right? He finds a bottle of pain relievers in his pocket, tries to get it open, but his fingers are trembling in pain. Goddamn childproof caps. Rafkin fumbles with the bottle. Arthur reaches out to give him a hand. When he makes contact... sorry, I had to help Griff up. When he makes contact... Oh my god, where the fuck am I? When he makes contact, Rafkin receives a series of flashes. Flashback, Arthur's previous dream. Jean's in front of the sliding glass door, with the kids outside playing. The images begin to blur and pound forward with amazing speed. Then, end of flashback. Back to library. Hey, buddy, you okay? Rafkin looks around, registering where he is, on the floor. Yeah, shit, my head. Arthur reaches out to help him up. Rafkin recoils. Don't touch me. Rafkin sits up and looks around. Can't see Ben. Where'd Ally McBeal go? Cover, where'd the suit go? Oh, okay, so that's saying if they can't... Okay, I see. Because I think they do say where'd the suit go in the movie, don't they? So cover here, that's in parentheses. So cover is, we're going to get that recorded line as well in case when we go to the edit, legal or whatever says we can't directly reference Ally McBeal. Like maybe we don't. I see what that means because I think he does say where'd the suit go instead of where Ally McBeal go. Interesting tidbit. Interior basement, continuous action. Ben's heading downstairs, the same way Rafkin just came. When he gets to the bottom of the stairs, he takes out a pen light and flicks it on. Starts to head down the center corridor. Now we're thinking to ourselves, what the hell's this guy doing? And where the hell's he going? To make matters worse, he removes a pair of those ghost glasses from his pocket, slips them on. Now we're even more curious. Ben, shaking his head. Power guy. What an idiot. Through ghost glasses. He passes the first room. Inside is the 1950s Richie Cunningham look-alike. He shoulders his bat, watching Moss's every move through dead eyes. Hey, Babe Ruth, stop staring. As Ben passes, the ghost suddenly disappears. He moves on. Inside the next is a cow. Inside the next is a boy, 7-ish, holding a tomahawk, dressed in a cowboy outfit with a hunting arrow through his head. Next time, learn to duck. He turns a corner, following the path... I should have said Ben said that. He turns a corner, following the path only known to him. It leads the lawyer to a dead end. Ben feels along the edge of the panel. The glass door snaps open, lightning fast. Ben grins, then carefully steps in. Interior, clockwork room. Continuous action. Ben makes his way around the huge gearworks and approaches the control panel. Smiling, the lawyer spots a black briefcase sitting on a scale next to the mechanism. Gotta hand it to you, Cyrus, critic Ghost. You're a man of your word. Uh-oh, he shouldn't have done it. My voice is going. More water. Ben picks up the briefcase. As he does, it sets... if I speak in a deeper voice, it actually is kind of helping me with my throat problems. So I might do that for a minute. Sorry. As he does, it sets off a trigger beneath it. The house begins to make noises. Behind him, gears grinding, whirring, clicking, clunking. Something has been turned on. Ben hardly notices. He's intent on the briefcase. He opens it. It's filled with bundles of cash. Ben smiles nervous. Ben smiles, still nervous. He closes the briefcase and leaves the room with it. Exterior, house. From outside the house, we witness the unbelievable. From outside the house, we witness the unbelievable. Rooms shift, walls migrate. The whole of the house reconfigures its architecture to accommodate some hidden agenda within. Interior, study, same time. Rafkin and Arthur also witness a change. From their perspective, they can see from the inside what the outside was doing. It's obvious by their shared looks that maybe it's time to take their argument outside. Continued. Rafkin. Look, I don't know what's going on here, but if you care about that family of yours, you get them out of this house. Arthur doesn't need convincing. I'll take your word for it. They quickly rush out of the study and over to the entryway, but the kids and Maggie are not there. Kathy? Raw Digger? Bobby? Interior corridor, continuous action. No one answers Arthur's cries. I told them not to leave this spot. Rafkin. They're kids, what'd you expect? Arthur. All right, fine. You check downstairs, I'll check up. Arthur takes off down the corridor. Shush. Griff, don't be a follower. Mabel, don't be schizophrenic.
Griff, I love you, puppy.
You're so cute. Arthur takes off around the corner. Rafkin at the basement door. Rafkin stares at the basement door. To himself. There's no way in hell I'm going back down there. Beat. Time for this psychic to leave. He takes a few steps towards the front door as Arthur's voice echoes through the house, looking for his kids. Rafkin hesitating. Shit! Rafkin watches as a set of glass panels close around the front door, sealing them in. Interior staircase with Arthur. He reaches the top of the stairs leading up to the second level when he hits glass. The stairs have been sealed. The stairs have been sealed off from the shift in the house. You know, I'm thinking about it now. The house does have a second story, I think, but do they ever actually go to the second floor? I feel like it's just main floor and basement. Or is there not a second floor and I'm crazy? Don't remember. Arthur. Bobby? Kathy? Arthur bangs like a madman on the glass, begins yelling. Bobby! Kathy! Finally, the house relents. The glass barrier slides open. Arthur bolts down the hallway. Interior, basement, with Ben. Ben heads back the way he came, wearing the glasses. He walks past the rooms again. As he approaches one, a naked female suicide victim with dead eyes, her wrists slashed, her blood-stained hands wielding a knife, comes up to the glass. Ben stops to check her out. What's the matter? Life got you down? The suicide? Interesting. They're calling her the suicide. That's not what she's called in the... That's not what she's called in the... Right? What is she called in the... Hold on. What is she called? Am I crazy? I can't... They call her the Angry Princess, I think, right? Or something like that? Yeah, she's called the Angry Princess, right? Unless they're referring... Well, no, even if they're referring to a different one. Yeah, like, there's the bound woman, but she's not naked. So it can't be her. Interesting. Another change in names. Instead of the Angry Princess, she was originally the Suicide. I can understand why they made them change that. The Suicide stares at him now with hatred. Her eyes are ink black, her face sallow, sucked in, her runny mascara stains cascading down her bloodless cheeks. She launches herself against the glass, clawing and scratching to get to him. Ben shudders, thinking he might have crossed the line. Begins to back away. The basement around Ben Moss suddenly begins to shift. The lawyer turns about, watching with unrest as the mechanical gears all around him engage, shifting rooms, rearranging walls. Interior clockwork room, continuous action. On the control panel, the first lever in the row of symbols suddenly shifts forward. Interior, basement, continuous action. Opening doors. Ben turns to see that the door that held the suicide back slides open. YouTube's going to tell me I can't even upload this shit. Fuck. Hey, I was only kidding. The ghost steps in the hallway towards Ben, blocking the route to the stairs. Ben backpedals in horror, backing right into an open doorway. As he steps over the threshold, there's a flicker of light in the doorway and a sharp snick. Ben stands in the doorway, surprised, apparently paralyzed. His glasses tumble off his face, stems slice through. The briefcase in his hand also seems to be sliced. Half of it falls, and halves of dollar bills spill out onto the floor. Ben slowly slides to the ground, or at least his front half does. The glass door has snapped shut like a razor blade, bisecting him laterally, slicing straight through his body. His front half slides down, revealing, for a second, a cross-sectional view of his back half on the far side of the glass. As Ben's remains collapse wetly to the floor, the suicide smiles and vanishes. I don't think she smiles in the movie either. She kind of stares at him. She does like her head tilt thing, and then she walks. Does she smile? I don't remember. Interior, clockwork room, continuous action. Hold on. Let's get a little bit of Gracie ASMR in here for a second. I'm gonna get you near. She stops snorting. Oh, as soon as I pull the mic away, she goes back to it. She's embarrassed. Above the row of levers, we see a series of 13 meters at the base of the pendulum. Jesus, I can't speak. Pendulum. All read. That's weird, just all read. The needle on the first meter suddenly dives deep into the red. Interior, Great Hall, continuous action. On the floor of the Great Hall, the ring stops spinning with a click. The symbol on the innermost ring, the same one as in the basement, has lined up with its mate on the disc. Interior, second floor hallway, night. Kathy, Bobby, and Maggie are still walking around, examining everything, still excited, oblivious to what's going on downstairs. Kathy passes by one of the bedrooms and breaks off from the other two to check it out. I'll be in here. Bobby and Maggie continue on. Bobby turns on his microphone. We are now upstairs, and there's more glass. Bobby clicks off the microphone, then removes his scooter from his bag. Race you to the end of the hall? Maggie, I really don't think you should be riding that. And suddenly Maggie breaks out into a sprint. Bobby quickly jumps on his scooter, but he's too far behind to catch up. Hey, you cheated! They reach the end of the hall. That wasn't fair. I didn't say start. Maggie, gotta be on your toes, kid. Maggie walks into one of the rooms. Bobby follows her. Interior, Bobby's bedroom. The room's filled with all types of cool, macabre boy stuff. A 7-year-old's dream, if you were a demented 7-year-old. This is definitely my room. Maggie plops down on a bed made up with skull and crossbone sheets. She finds a pair of ghost glasses lying on the bedside table, puts them on. So, do I look cool? No, you look like a dork. But the nanny isn't listening. She sits there, slack-jawed, looking through glasses. My God, this is incredible. Maggie's POV through ghost glasses. The etched glass symbols on the wall have been added to with flowing red, glowing symbols. Not only do they weave in and out about the walls, but they create a path on the floor that leads right out the door. Back to scene. What? Let me see. 1 second. Come on. Bobby grabs at them. Maggie takes them off. Maggie. All right, here. Bobby puts them on and reacts. Cool. Bobby grabs his scooter and Mike and takes off down the hall. Maggie gives chase, but it's obvious she's not going to catch him. He zooms in and out of the bedrooms, up and down the halls, following the glowing red path. He takes a couple of turns when he realizes he may have gone too far. The boy has become lost in all the glass. Bobby is alone. Maggie? Bobby starts scooting again, only this time with a bit more urgency. He passes an open door, which opens into a set of stairs heading down. He stops, backs up, then glances down. At the bottom of the nearest landing, he catches the glimpse of a figure standing. The female figure is in a silhouette, and her head is tilted oddly to one side, though from this distance we can't see why. Kathy? The figure oddly shuffles off. Come on, Kath. Stop playing games. With his scooter under his arm, Bobby heads downstairs into the darkness of the house. I'm gonna tell Dad. Interior, corridor. Maggie, looking tired of searching for Bobby. Suddenly, something off screen catches her eye. Whoa. What's going on? Interior, Kathy's bedroom, second floor. Kathy walks in, but not before she notices that, from the hallway, the room appears to be empty. The glass door, we now realize, is a trick. Hold on, shut up. Before realizing, it's trick glass. Kathy, this place is awesome. Kathy walks over to the bed, plops down, sinking into all the silk. Her half-closed eyes tell us, perfect. I just want to clarify the way that it's spelled in the script is P-U-U-R-R-F-E-C-T. Is she a fucking cat? Perfect. Oh, hold on. I'm picking my nose. I have a booger. Alright, I gotta go stop the recording. Because I need to go wash my hands. That is a fucking huge booger. I wish I could show you. Okay, I'm back. That was gross. But also very satisfying. My nostrils are so much more clear now. Out of the corner of her eye, she spots a door ajar with lights on the inside. No way. She slips off the bed, opening the door, revealing her new bathroom. And if ever a room could be carved from a single diamond, this is it. Now that's what I'm talking about. Interior bathroom. It's spectacular, immaculate, and not only spacious, but appointed. The shelves are stacked with jewel-like bottles of perfume. Kathy's wet dream. Hey man, weird way to describe that. Again, them incel vibes. You could say Kathy's spa dream, or Kathy's dream hair care routine, Kathy's dream bathroom. So many different things. I'm going to say Kathy's wet dream. Does Kathy get off to nice looking bathrooms? Anyways, as we view her from beneath the glass shelves, she begins inspecting her own found treasure. Everything seems to be unashamedly brand new. Kathy, we've struck gold. Who texted me? Oh, you texted me. What did you just say? Just read a super bat fic so good it got me... Well, no, let me read this verbatim. Just read a super bat fic so good it me giggling and kicking my feet like the good old days. What should I respond to you? I shall say... Just picked a massive booger and it was great. Okay, I sent that back to you. Let's see how you respond. Alright, I need you to shut the fuck up, bub. Alright, I'm going to pause the recording again because I need to let the fucking dogs pee or something. They shouldn't have to go yet, but they're being awful. Click play again. Okay, sorry, I'm just making sure the pause function works. Alright, we're back. Oh, what is this getting caught on? What is my cord caught on? Alright, okay, we're back. That was annoying. You can probably hear Gracie eating a greenie behind me. We struck gold. Another angle. What she also doesn't notice is a pair of ghost glasses lying on the sink. The camera zooms in through the lenses so that we're now looking at the scene through ghost glasses. That was an interesting way to write that. And a figure passes behind Kathy, jolting us. The figure heads for the tub. The camera turns towards the figure, revealing a new level of hell. There's blood splattered everywhere in the bathroom. We pan. The gore is overwhelming. Still lost in her personal nirvana, Kathy nonchalantly strolls over to the bathtub, drawing back its blood-stained curtain. In a tight shot, she runs the water, which is blood red. On the cut, she brings it up to her face, where it's warm, clear, and perfect. When she leans back a bit, we see the naked female suicide ghost lying in the bloody tub, wrists slashed, eyes staring at Kathy wickedly. Kathy doesn't see her because she's not wearing the glasses. 2 words are written in blood on the glass walls surrounding the tub. I'm sorry. Kathy is oblivious of the suicide, lost in the possibilities of her bathroom. Running her hand around the bloody water, she turns the water off, and as soon as she does, a knife pierces the surface of the water. Kathy. It doesn't get any better than this. Suddenly, the suicide rises up with the rest of her knife, reaching for Kathy when there's banging on the bathroom door. Kathy bolts upright. Back to scene. We snap out of the ghost glasses, and the bathroom's back to normal. All clean glass block, an empty tub. Kathy opens the locked bathroom door, and Arthur's standing there, pissed. He yanks her out of the bathroom, into the hall. What the hell are you doing up here? Didn't I tell you to stay downstairs? Yeah, but where's your brother? With Maggie? He was with me. Maggie off screen. They turn to see Maggie walking up to them. Maggie. But he scooted off. He's around here somewhere. Arthur. You're supposed to watch him. That's what I pay you for. Maggie starts yelling. Bobby! Interior staircase. Arthur's heading downstairs with Kathy and Maggie. Arthur, I'll find him, but I want you both out of here. Hold on, I'm cleaning your face. I'm cleaning your face, Crazy! Good girl. I got a little bit. Not much, but I got some. Good girl. Good girl. Who's a good girl? Good girl. I'll find him, but I want you both out of here. Kathy. But, Arthur, no buts. I want you guys to wait in the car. I'll be out as soon as I find Bobby. Kathy. Why are you freaking out? Arthur. Kathy, just this once. Don't argue. Interior, main level. They reach the bottom of the stairs and head over to the front door, but there's now a glass barrier in front of it, barring anyone from exit. Kathy. What happened to the door? Arthur. Son of a bitch! Arthur picks up a chair and hurls it at the glass. It bounces off without a dent. He picks it up and starts banging away. Nothing. Over the top of the noise, a voice bellows out. Arthur. What a night I'm having! Rafkin, off screen. It's sealed shut. They all turn to see Rafkin sitting on the couch. Arthur. What do you mean it's sealed shut? Rafkin. I mean it's sealed shut. What part of that code are you having trouble cracking? Kathy. There must be another way out. Rafkin. I've looked. Arthur. Well, we're going to look again. Right after we find my son. Now get up, Rafkin. Thanks, but I'll wait here. Arthur. Look, I don't know what the hell's going on, and I don't know who the hell you are, but my son's missing. So until those questions are answered, you're not leaving my sight. Now get up! Rafkin is startled by Arthur's tone. He reluctantly gets up to help. Rafkin. Oh, now you listen to me. Before it was the lawyer. Beat, realizing. Speaking of lawyers, he split?
Funny. Oh, hello. Of course you can sit with me, Griffin. You were sitting with me a minute ago till you jumped off to go fuck around. But yeah, you can come back and unplug my fucking computer battery, you little shit. Oh, you're lucky you're cute and that I got to hear the funny joke.
Interior clockwork room. The gears kick in once again, and the house comes to life. It's a quick shift, but we notice that the gears are moving at an accelerated rate. Cut to interior basement. 2 more doors open within the basement. Thank you, Grace, for that noise. Cut to interior clockwork room. At the base of the clockworks, 2 more needles from the 13 meters go out. 3 ghosts are now loose. Cut to interior basement with Bobby. Bobby is zipping down the hallway on his scooter. He takes the corners at high speeds, following the spell markings on the floor.
Kathy, come on!
As he rounds the next turn too fast, his scooter shoots out from under him. His glasses sail off his head.
Ah!
And he lands on his ass. I love you too, baby. We're gonna eat. Mom gonna be here soon. Continued. Bobby grabs his glasses again, and when he slips them on, through ghost glasses, he sees a decapitated head lying on the floor right between his legs, wrapped in plastic. The head's eyes snap open, and it begins to mouth words. Bobby screams. Then he hears a dragging sound behind him, like dead skin slapping on glass. Bobby turns and sees a headless, legless human torso wrapped in sheets of filthy plastic, crab-walking towards him.
Dead!
Bobby jumps to his... Can I help you? Can I help you? I am reading narrative fiction of a high caliber. Griffin. With it. Quit it. Quit it. Let me read. Why am I always... always gotta be in charge of the dogs when I need to do something. Anyways, Bobby jumps to his feet, turning. He runs down the hall, looks back, sees nothing, and when he turns back, straight into the bound woman. Pinned against the glass, the bound woman lets out a muffled cry. Strangled by a businessman's tie, which is still tight around her neck, her tongue sticks out like a thick blue thumb. Her hair, skin, and prom dress are clotted with dirt and worms, the marks of a shallow grave. Her hands and feet are bound by rope, but that's not the worst. Her head sits askew on her shoulders, neck obviously broken, a chunk of bone jutting out just beneath the skin. Panicked, she goes into violent convulsions. It's too much for Bobby. He turns and bolts, racing blindly through the basement's glass hallways. When finally he feels safe, he slows enough to look over his shoulder, and that's when he slams into a wall of glass. The collision knocks his glasses from his head, his mic from his shoulder. He reaches for his glasses when the tiny sound of a squeaking wheel issues from his mic down the hall. Bobby looks at the mic, then fearfully back at the glasses in his hand. Ushering all his courage, Bobby dons the glasses, and with his heart beating like a hummingbird's, he turns around and sees another woman there, walking down the corridor towards him. Dressed in only a hospital gown, she wheels a portable IV stand along the floor. Yards of thin plastic IV tubes tether her to the stand. Her arms, thin, withered from long illness, bear nasty scars from unnumbered operations. Her head is almost completely covered at stained bandages, but a beauty mark decorates that portion of her face that we can see. She gropes blindly down the passage, straight towards Bobby. He backs up, trips over his feet, almost falls. The IV woman stops, so does Bobby. Bobby waits, frozen. He tries to call for help, but can only manage a gasp. "Dad! Daddy!" Louder. "Dad! Dad!" The IV woman seems to respond to the sound of his voice. She cocks her head, as if listening. She moves, calling out, but we hear it through the tiny amplifier of Bobby's toy mic. Jean, voiceover, on mic. "Bobby?" And now he recognizes her voice. It's his mother, Jean. That's it. Bobby turns and runs like hell, around the corner and right into Cyrus. Or Cyrus's ghost. Pale white, with eyes rolled back, and a big spike sticking out of his neck. Standing behind a pane of glass, Bobby actually hit glass, and he catches a glimpse of the dead Cyrus just before he's knocked out from the impact. As his glasses and microphone fall to the floor, we cut to interior main floor corridor. I love you too, pup. You good boy. Arthur, Kathy, Maggie, and Rafkin are searching the house, looking for Bobby. Maggie. "Bobby!" Arthur. "Come on out, pal." Kathy. "Robert, stop screwing around." Rafkin. "Hey, Glass Family Robinson, you're wasting your breath. This stuff," taps glass, "this is Ectobar glass. Cyrus invented it. It's shatterproof and soundproof, so your kid might have a hard time hearing you." Maggie touches the etchings on the glass. "Great magic touches the etchings on the glass." What are these? Why did I read that so weirdly? Rafkin. "They're containment spells. Ectoplasmic entities can't cross them. The supernatural has laws to obey just like we do. In the case of ghosts, it's spells. Written, spoken, doesn't matter. They have to obey what the spells tell them." Kathy. "So what do these do?" Rafkin. "At the moment, they're keeping us alive." Arthur. "Just ignore him." "Bobby!" Kathy. Can we go? Let's go back a second to the ecto thing. Rafkin. "You mean the poltergeists?" Kathy. "Poltergeists?" Rafkin. Sighs. "All right, ghosts. And not Casper the friendly kind either. Cyrus had a thing for hunting the more powerful of the species. Why? I got no idea." Arthur. "I thought you didn't want to go through it again." Rafkin. You're right. I've wasted enough time on small minds tonight." Kathy. Sorry, I had to cut there. The dog wouldn't shut the fuck up. I gave him away. Kathy. "Hey!" Rafkin. "I was talking about your father." Maggie. "Excuse me? Did you say hunted? Rafkin. Yeah, and his trophies are all locked up in the basement. Maggie. This basement? Rafkin. What's with you people? Are you slow? Of course this basement. If it was next door, I wouldn't give a shit. Here, I'll prove it. Rafkin pulls out his glasses. Rafkin. You can see them with these, the spectral viewers. Maggie. I gave Bobby a pair of those. This gets Arthur's attention. Maggie walks over and takes them out of Rafkin's hand, slips them on. Maggie, looking around. I don't see any ghosts. Rafkin rolls his eyes. It's because they're all downstairs. Maggie. Just more of that crazy Latin shit all over the floor. Rafkin takes the glasses back, looks down, impressed. Huh. Hidden barrier spells. Cyrus must have needed more protective zones. Maggie. Protection? You mean like oregano is to a vampire? Rafkin, sarcastic. Yeah, something like that. Arthur. Had enough, in parentheses. Look, Rafkin, is it? Do me a favor. Spare us the haunted ravings, at least until we get out of here, okay? Interior, basement door, top of stairs. They come to a staircase, leading down into the basement. Arthur stares down at it. Oh, look, we're halfway through, by the way. Halfway through the script, 110 pages, we're on 55. Arthur stares down at it, Rafkin. Whoa! They stop and look at him. Rafkin. What did I just say? There's a petting zoo in the basement? No, Arthur. I succinctly said there are ghosts in the basement. Arthur. You also said they were locked up. Rafkin. No way. Rafkin won't budge. Arthur knows it. Arthur. Listen, I'll make you a deal. I'll pay you whatever Cyrus owed you. Just help me find my son. Arthur extends his hand. Deal? Okay, it repeat what it said because it says he extends his hand again. I guess he put his hand out and then he put his other hand out. Arthur extends his hand. And for the first time, Dennis Rafkin isn't afraid of the gesture. Not that he takes it, of course. Rafkin. Deal. Rafkin pulls out a bottle of prescription drugs, swigs it all down. It's written that way. Swigs it down, swigs it all down. Then joins them down the staircase. Interior, basement. Where are we at? Okay, sorry, I got a little lost on the page formatting here. Interior basement, yeah. The group comes to the bottom of the stairs, then moves into the glass-lined passage. Rafkin's head is beginning to throb again. Arthur, taking note. You gonna be okay? Rafkin. Yeah, just keep an eye on me, okay? The four search the empty basement hallways, finding nothing but more glass and shadows. They come to an intersection in the huge labyrinth. Rafkin checks one of the containment cubes, finding its door still locked. Arthur. This place is too big. Kathy and I'll go this way. You two head down there. Rafkin. Sure. Ignore the professional. Look, don't go too far. A straight line, then turn around. We'll meet back in 5, all right? Arthur nods. Takes Kathy by the arm, and they head off in one direction, leaving Maggie and Rafkin to go the other way. Interior, clockwork room. One of the huge gears turn again, faster than before. We move past them, in on the control panel. 3 levers shift, and the sign of the jackal, along with others, slides forward, clicking into place. I'm thinking this as I read it. This is a lot more intricate showing of the gears turning than is in the movie, of like having these things maybe labeled or whatever, like the sign of the jackal. No, I guess that's, I don't know, it just seems because like in the movie it's just like, you just kind of hear chunking as they show you that big gear thing moving. Maybe they show you a door open, but this seems like they had a more idea. Probably just too expensive with the CGI they did to have more specific than just, a couple shots of it all whirring together. Exterior, rear of house, continuous action. From the back of the house, we see the architect shifting, as if under orders. The huge edifice groaning with Herculean effort. Cut to interior, basement, glass corridors, various shots. Behind Kathy and Arthur, and elsewhere near Rafkin and Kalina, 3 more doors slide open, unnoticed. Interesting that you mentioned Kalina. She hasn't been revealed yet, but I guess, whatever. Shut up, me. Cut to interior basement glass door with Rafkin and Maggie, which is exactly what Rafkin didn't want to hear, especially in the basement. Maggie doesn't look too worried about things, taking things rather nonchalantly, while Rafkin appears the frightened rabbit. Rafkin, look, you don't believe me, do you? See for yourself. Rafkin puts the ghost glasses on Maggie and pulls her in front of the first glass cube. Maggie, I thought we've been over this. I can't see any ghosts. Rafkin, there. Rafkin points into one of the cubes. Maggie, where? Maggie looks around intently, but comes back confused. Rafkin looks at her, wondering. He pulls the glasses back off her face and puts them on his own. He's shocked. The first 2 cubes are empty. Rafkin, panicking. Oh no. 1 second. I tell you, I don't think I've ever been more bothered in a recording session before. Jeez Louises. Rafkin paces in front of the cubes. He peers worriedly into the next cube. At first he sees nothing, when suddenly a hammer slams against the glass. Rafkin whoops and jumps backwards. He grabs his heart. Rafkin. Never fails. They always wait for you to put your face right up near the glass. Maggie eyes him warily. Rafkin takes off the glasses and puts them on Maggie. She looks into the cube and screams. Through ghost glasses, a hugely built, middle-aged black man appears, dressed in layers of viciously torn leather, with a blacksmith apron covering what remains. In addition, nails and spikes are hammered into his body, from his head down to the sledgehammer that's been nailed to his handless arm. I wonder if that... Is that... Hold on, now I gotta look at it. Now I gotta look at him. Is that how he look in the game? They call him the Hammer. I know he has a hammer. Is it his arm? Jesus Christ, I'm fucking spiraling, I tell you. I'm spiraling. Okay, let's go quickly. Not to make you do. Is it this? Is it? Have I not known this? Yeah, it is. Is it? Yes. It is. But the makeup's only just kind of... The makeup... They did a good job in the movie of not showing that angle too much. Otherwise, it's pretty clear that he's holding the hammer. It really just looks like he's holding the hammer rather than it being grafted to his arm. But that is what they were going for. Good cinematography can hide things like that. That's smart. Maggie. Oh my God, it's Rafkin. That's right. We're surrounded by him all the time. Most of them can't hurt us. Most of them don't want to hurt us. But there are exceptions. The apparition glares at Rafkin. He takes hold of a spike embedded deep in his shoulder and pulls. All 8 inches of rusting metal come out. He thrusts it at the glass and pulls it across the surface in a shower of sparks, as if carving a hello from hell. Maggie, what's he doing? Rafkin, just saying hi. I helped put him here. The ghost lowers his spike. Into the glass he has etched the phrase, U-M-Y-N, you mine. I don't think that's in the movie, by the way. Dennis takes a beat and then licks the glass. Rafkin, acting tough to Ghost. I love you too. Lightning quick, the apparition lifts his hammer and smashes it against the glass. Sparks explode across the corridor. Maggie jumps back into Rafkin's arms. Maggie. Okay, I want to go now. Maggie swallows hard. Rafkin, half smiling, gestures down the corridor, and reluctantly she follows. At the last moment, Rafkin turns and flips the hammer the bird, but the ghost is gone. Cut to omitted. Interior. Something's been removed from the script because it says cut to, and then it says omitted, and that's scene 53, and the next thing is 54. I'm going to Google that real quick. 13 Ghosts, scene 53, omitted. The fuck is that? I'm not seeing anything immediately come up. Interesting. I wonder... I don't know what that is, but yeah, there's a scene that's been omitted from the script that was here. Weird. Interior, house, basement, trap room. Fucking flies, man, I tell you. Bobby lies on the floor. He rises, shaky, turns, and realizes that he's trapped in a space perhaps 20 feet wide by 10 feet long, surrounded on all four sides by glass walls. Other spaces are dimly visible through the glass. He looks around. No way out. Then, on the other side of the glass wall, he sees Arthur moving down the passage on the other side. Bobby. Dad! Dad! But Arthur cannot hear or see him. An instant later, Kathy comes into view. Kathy! Kathy! Dad! He bangs on the glass, but his fists hardly make a sound. Interior basement corridor, with Arthur and Kathy. Arthur hurries forward, Kathy behind him. Dad, slow down. Bobby! Arthur charges forward, searching. Kathy stays close. Kathy, we're gonna get lost. And on that note, Arthur turns the corner and finds Bobby's microphone and glasses lying in the middle of the corridor floor. He stops in his tracks. Kathy notices them too. Both of them fear the worst. They slowly walk over to the items. Arthur picks up Bobby's microphone while Kathy grabs his glasses. Arthur presses play on the recorder. Bobby's last words bellow out. Dad! Dad! I can't give that a good performance. I apologize. Arthur quickly clicks the recorder off. He tries to keep it together, but we can see the pain on his face. Kathy breaks down. My throat is fighting me. Interior, trap room, same time. On Bobby's side of the wall, Bobby pounds on the glass as he sees Arthur comfort Kathy with a hug. Dad! Kath, I'm in here! Here! The wall behind him begins to move, pushing him in. He gasps and scrambles back as it comes forward. The space in which he's trapped is getting narrower. And to make matters worse, Arthur and Kathy vanish from his sight behind the trick glass. Bobby's about to lose it. Interior corridor with Arthur and Kathy. Arthur's comforting his daughter. Don't worry, we'll find him. Kathy pulls it together. Interior, other side of basement with Rafkin and Maggie. Make sure the recording's good. Always checking that throughout the time. Rafkin and Maggie pass another empty cube. The symbol on the door gets Rafkin's attention. Oh, shit. Kalina. What? Rafkin. The jackal's loose. We gotta get the hell out of here. He turns back the way they came. Maggie follows. Interior corridor with Arthur and Kathy, same time. Kathy holds up the glasses to her father. Dad, Bobby was wearing these. Maybe Rafkin was right. Maybe they really are. Arthur. Kathy, think about what you're saying. Kathy raises the glasses to her face. Arthur, off screen. There's no such thing as revealing a face from hell before her.
The jackal.
Through ghost glasses. Someone was making noises. Stupid dogs. Oh, hello, Gracie.
Did you hear me talking about the jackal and get excited? Did you hear me talking about the jackal? The jackal. Come here, Gracie. Let me pick you up. Quit sniffing around my dirty clothes. Come here. Come here. Let's talk about the jackal together. Gracie, let's talk about the jackal. Okay, fuck you too.
With unnaturally long limbs and fingers with long, jagged nails, its sloping head and bulging eyes contained in the cage it wears on his head, the jackal stands before Kathy in a shredded straitjacket. Oh, hello, Gracie. Where are you licking my towel? Gracie, come here. I don't want you pissing on nothing. Come here.
Yes, you stinky baby girl. Come here. Yes, I will fucking drag you over. You're interrupting jackal time. Oh my goodness, you fat fuck. Oh my god. She's a good girl though. Such a good girl.
So cute. The jackal stands before Kathy in a shredded straitjacket, half torn off, half burned away. Continued. He supplies a madman's grin, saliva dripping, bearing unnaturally his saliva dripping, bearing unnaturally large, crooked teeth. And then suddenly, when a heartbeat can seem like an eternity, he leaps at Kathy as if out of a shotgun. Back to scene. Kathy screams as she's literally propelled down the hall. Arthur's POV. Arthur's. At the end of the corridor, Kathy is seen being dragged invisibly across the floor, pinned to the wall, then dragged up it to the ceiling. Kathy. Daddy, help me! Oh my God! I'm not going to yell as much anymore or my throat will be gone. Her clothes are shredded from her body. I'm telling you, bro, these people are too fucking hoary. Back to scene. Arthur, running. Kathy! Daddy, help me! Arthur, without glasses, can't see the jackal, but he can see the impossible spectacle of an invisible something savagely tearing his daughter apart. Kathy, what is it? I can't see a thing! Arthur grabs Kathy, tries to drag her down, but the jackal won't let go. Kathy is hoisted in the air between the two, a tug-of-war that's killing her. Arthur won't let go of her hands, and the invisible jackal won't let go of her feet. Bloody scratches rip open along her leg as her clothes are ripped to shreds. Make it let go! Make it let go! What? Where is it, Kathy? Tell me, where is it? Arthur... Oh my God, Gracie. Arthur grabs all the material he can and pulls. It tears. Kathy rebounds, almost falling. The jackal leaps on her like a hellish animal, scratching her with both fingers and toes. She screams over and over. Arthur sees bloody scratches appear on Kathy's skin. Deep, red, sharp. Jesus Christ, get off! Get off! Hysterical. Arthur finally pulls Kathy up and drags her down the passage. The jackal leaps up again, yanking her from Arthur's grasp. Arthur barely catches hold of Kathy's arm and pulls, but the jackal's too strong, and he's losing her. Suddenly, the corridor lights up behind him, and a phosphorus flare is tossed to the floor beside him. The jackal strikes with unearthly horror. The jackal shrieks with unearthly horror. Ah, stop that! A second set of hands grabs hold of Kathy and pulls alongside Arthur. Arthur turns and comes face to face with Kalina, knapsack slung over her shoulder, glasses on her face. He does a double take, then... Who the hell are you? Kalina. Pull! Together, the two pull Kathy down the hall, away from the jackal. The jackal regains his wits and attacks. It's a race now. Kalina. Run, goddammit! Arthur and Kalina drag Kathy down the hall, trying to outrun the jackal. Kathy's POV, upside down going backwards. The thing gives chase, closing the gap in the blink of an eye. Back to scene. Kathy. Hurry, Daddy! Okay, this is a thing you see a lot in writing. No one says daddy. No one said daddy in 2001. A 23-year-old... Does she say daddy? No, I think she says dad. I feel like in this scene, I wouldn't say hurry anything. I'd just be screeching. If I were her, I wouldn't be like, oh, please hurry, father. It's getting closer. I'd probably be like... Something like that, you know? I hope you're not wearing headphones. At the last possible moment, the jackal leaps. Kathy screams again. The jackal suddenly slams into an invisible barrier. Kathy reacts with astonishment as the ghost rips and tears in the barrier like a wild animal trying to get it meat. Sparks fly. The trio tries to regain themselves around the corner. Kathy's in Arthur's arms, cut, bruised, crying. He looks up with fire in his eyes at Kalina. Just who the hell are you? How the hell did you get in here? What the hell was that? Interior basement glass corridor with Rafkin and Maggie. Yes, Gracie, you can come up higher.
Oh, is the cord wrapped around your leg? How the fuck did that happen, you stupid fucking... Oh, you're a stupid dog. You're a stupid... There you go. No. You want it up. You're sitting up here.
Oh, Mom got home. I was like, oh, can you take the dog so I can record this? She's like, yeah. And then like 5 minutes later, she's like, I gotta run to this door. I'm going to screech. The duo weave their way through the basement's maze of glass, trying to locate Arthur and Kathy. Rafkin pulls Maggie along, trying to find the way out, but it's no use. All the hallways look the same. Pulling her around a corner, they find themselves trapped. A glass barrier cuts them off from the rest of the corridor. Rafkin. Shit! Gotta go back. Rafkin grabs Maggie, turns, suddenly stops. Maggie isn't sure why. Rafkin's scared. Rafkin starts backing up. Maggie. What? What? Rafkin, whispering. Don't talk. Don't move. Maggie, whispering. Why? Rafkin, whispering. Somehow we got behind enemy lines. Hands for the glasses. Maggie can see a tiny boy carrying a hatchet moving towards them in the dark. She turns back toward Rafkin for affirmation. When she looks back.
Oh my goodness, yes, Griffin, I can help you up. Of course. You can jump up here for the 27th time instead of just staying here normally.
Oh, you're lucky you're the softest dog.
Rafkin takes the glasses back. Looks. Rafkin. No, it's not. It's hiding. Off Maggie's terrified reaction, we cut to interior basement glass corridor with Arthur, Kathy, and Kalina. Kalina is helping Arthur tear up strips of cloth to bind Kathy's wounds. Kalina Ortezia. I'm in the spirit reclamation business. Arthur. Spiritual what? Kalina. I free trapped souls. Your uncle, Arthur. Forget my uncle and trap souls for a second. What in the world are you doing here? Kalina. Looks like I'm saving your ass. Kathy. Nervously. Dad, it's still there. Kathy passes the glasses to her father. He holds them for an instant, then puts them on. The jackal's some 3 feet away, scratching insanely at the glowing red spells that block his way. This is interesting. In this case, it seems like someone put spells up very suddenly. It doesn't seem like it was a glass shift, unless I'm just understanding it wrong, which kind of goes along with the way of, like, you know, Kalina had to step in because Arthur can't die yet, and the kids can't die yet because he has to be a sacrifice for the children. So, interesting. It kind of leads more into that. Arthur studying the jackal. That's unbelievable. Kalina. Another one of your uncle's victims. Arthur turns to Kalina. Victims? When Arthur looks back, the jackal's gone. Yeah, your uncle had a nasty habit of enslaving souls. That's why I'm here. Doesn't matter whether they're dead or not, they're still people. Kathy looks up, bloody, trembling, angry, like this woman's crazy. Arthur. How the hell did you get in here? Kalina. I eased in through an opening when the house shifted. Kathy looks to her father with hope. Don't get your hopes up. It's closed now, and it's not going to happen again. Arthur. But if you got in... Kalina. Here. Kalina pulls out a huge ancient book from her satchel. Kalina. The Arcanum. Belonged to my fiancé. He and your uncle are the only two known copies in the world. Kalina flips through the book. It was penned in the 15th century by an astrologer named Basilius, who is texting me.
Oh my goodness, oh my glurd bliss.
That was annoying. Texting me about random shit. I'm so sorry for the dead air. I'm probably not going to cut that out, though, because fuck you. In it, he describes the building of a certain device, one that can see into the future. As legend has it, it was ascribed to him while under demonic possession. Needless to say, his book didn't make the bestsellers list. Oh my god, quit fucking texting me. After reading it, the church burned him at the stake. His writings, however, survived. Just can't, looking around, in parentheses, I just can't believe he built it. Arthur. What are you talking about? Kalina. Basilius' device. The Eye of Hell. You're standing in the middle of a machine designed by the devil. Cut to interior basement glass corridor with Rafkin and Maggie. Rafkin and Maggie continue down the dark corridor. A figure moves in and out of shadows following them. Rafkin notices the lurking ghost with glasses. With the glasses. Rafkin. We got company. Oh, he's right behind me, isn't he? Oh, bunch of Marvel shit. He hurries Maggie down the corridor. Suddenly, another figure, the suicide, crosses the corridor in front of them, slipping into the shadows. Rafkin. Did you see that? Maggie. See what? I don't have glasses, you moron. Rafkin backs down the hall, Maggie behind him. He catches a quick glimpse of the first figure again. This time it's closer. He rechecks the other corridor, and the suicide is there. Maggie, nervous. What is it? Rafkin. If it's down here, it's not a good thing. Trust me. Rafkin spins around, and the 50s kid is on top of him. He swings his bat madly at Rafkin, connecting on the last swing. Rafkin, in an explosion of sparks, goes sailing. Maggie quickly scoops Rafkin up and starts hauling him down the corridor with the suicide in pursuit. Cut to interior basement glass corridor with Arthur, Kathy, and Kalina. Arthur addresses Kalina as Kathy looks on. Arthur. Look, I don't give a damn about any machine, any devil, anybody named Basilius, anything except getting my family the hell out of here. Now, if that book showed you how to get in, can it show us how to get out? Kalina. Possibly. Arthur. Good. Good, finally. We're on to something here. We're communicating. This is good. All we need is a little cooperation from you in that book, and we can all go home. Correct? Kalina. All right. I'll help you get out of here. Get you out. Help you get out, but you, in turn, have to help me. I came here to free those trapped by your uncle. Tonight. You want out, you have to help me too. Arthur. Do I have a choice? Kalina. Yeah. I could free us all here now. Kalina opens her bag, exposing sticks of dynamite. Arthur swallows hard. This wasn't the option he had in mind. Who gives a shit, bro? Put that shit on some glass and then go to the other side real quick. Kalina watches him lose it. I'm out of water. This is not good. Kalina watches him... hold on, where is it? Where am I? Oh, sorry, Arthur. All right, this is negotiable. Kathy, can you walk? Arthur turns around to see Kathy's gone. Kathy! Kathy! Arthur searches everywhere, but it appears that Kathy's vanished. No, this can't be happening. Kalina watches him lose it. She notices something move above her. Come on, we gotta get out of here. I'm not going anywhere without my kids! Try telling him that. Kalina gestures to a little boy ghost standing on the ceiling. The ghost issues a hateful, unholy hiss. Arthur notices him and quickly changes his mind. They flee down the corridor until they finally see the stairs coming up. Freedom. One less corridor to go when wham! Show's over. A sheet of glass blocks their path to the stairs. What's worse? What's worse? Where the fuck is it? Oh my god. What's worse is that when they turn around, the ghost is gone. Shit, where'd he go? Off their panicked looks, we cut to interior clockwork room. We move in on the huge clockworks. They spin at a tremendous speed now. We pull into the control panel mechanism. The symbols shift, and the 9th meter, the sign of the hammer, slides forward and clicks into place. And the house begins to move again, releasing the ghost. So that was scene 64. Another interesting one. There's something that's listed. There's a scene here listed as 64A, and it too has been just omitted from this script. So curious, so curious what they could be missing. So I guess we're on to scene 65. Interior basement with Rafkin and Maggie. Rafkin and Maggie rush forward. Maggie is on edge, her eyes darting around, checking all the dark corners of the corridors. The house suddenly begins to move again. At the end of the hallway, a door opens, while walls around them start to close in and crush them. Rafkin. Look out! Move! Rafkin shoves her out of the crushing hallway as the wall forces him into the open doorway. The glass wall slams closed between them, and the house goes silent again. Stops moving.
Hello, Griffin. Of course you can come back. Where'd he go? Where'd my boy go? Where'd he go? Of course you can keep annoying me forever and ever, you little shit. Come here. Yes. Now can I please get back to goofy starting ghosts?
The glass wall slams between them, and the house goes silent again. Stops moving. Rafkin and Maggie can see each other through the glass. Rafkin notices the glasses in Maggie's hands. Where are we at on the recording? Great. Rafkin said that, sorry. Great. His head begins pounding. Something's not right. Then he turns around and realizes where he is. Interior, Hammer's room. Of course she's one fucking what? 1 second, Mom's talking again. I'm talking. I swear to God, if I have to pause my recording again, I'm gonna go insane. I just want to get through this now. Please stop bothering me, people. Interior, Hammer's room. Rafkin. Oh shit. Go around to the door and toss me the glasses. Maggie walks around the corner and sees the suicide standing there. She quickly backpedals back to where she was before. Maggie. That ain't gonna work. You got a plan B? She looks back through the glasses for Rafkin and spots the Hammer is standing right behind him, smiling. Rafkin reacts to Maggie's panicked look. Rafkin, mouthing. What? I swear to God. Okay, she's just texting me. It's a simple thing. The Hammer raises his weapon, about to swing down on Rafkin. Maggie quickly points to the side, away from the Hammer. Maggie. Move! Rafkin jumps over as the Hammer swings. The Hammer strikes the floor where Rafkin just was. Sparks fly. Rafkin nervously looks at Maggie, mouthing. The spells! Where are the spells? Maggie checks the floor. She notices the glowing spells, but Rafkin's not standing on them. The Hammer's now gone. Maggie pushes both of her hands forward. Back! Rafkin hops back like a little frog, just as the Hammer reappears and swings, missing Rafkin and hitting an invisible wall. More sparks fly. Rafkin's sweating profusely now. He doesn't move. He's standing on the spells. One wrong step and he's dead. He glances around, knowing the Hammer's presence is very close by. The exit door is about 10 feet away. He'd never be able to make a run for it. Rafkin, you have to lead me out. So am I crazy? This is not in the movie at all. Which I forgot about. We missed the stuff where when Rafkin teases the Hammer, he gets that flash of the Hammer killing him, or is it the other guy killing him? But and he has more of a sacrifice type moment. But in this is very different. It's very interesting. Maggie looks down at the path of spells on the floor, and it's a jagged path to the door. Then she sees the Hammer standing over Rafkin like an executioner, waiting to bring down his axe. One wrong step, and Maggie. Oh, crap. Rafkin looks at her hopefully. Maggie nods. Okay, right foot, step right. Rafkin, right? Maggie nods. Rafkin raises his right foot, hovering it over the floor, looking for Maggie to take the step. Looking for Maggie to okay the step. She nods again. Rafkin takes the step. Rafkin squints, ready to get hit, but the Hammer's gone. Whew. Maggie. Left foot. Left foot? Right. Right foot? There's a back and forth between them. Maggie waves and shakes her head. Maggie. Left foot, forward. Rafkin. It's playing friggin' Twister here. Rafkin sets his left foot forward. Again, he's safe. Maggie nods, motioning him straight onward. Another safe step. He might just make it out of here alive after all. And that's when Maggie sees the suicide turn the corridor, and she's coming right at her. Maggie, scared out of her wits, wants to run, but she still has to deal with Rafkin. Maggie, another right! Rafkin goes to take a step with his right foot and walk right off the spells. Maggie's not watching. She's more concerned with the suicide heading in her direction. Maggie turns back just in time and sees the Hammer right in front of Rafkin. Shh, Maggie! Shit! Just jump! Rafkin takes a flying leap towards the door. He makes it out safely and rushes over to Maggie. Gives her a big thank you kiss on the lips. That's weird. Don't do that. Let's not do that. That's weird. Rafkin, I owe you big time. Maggie, fine. Just get me out of here. Interior, main floor. Rafkin, peeking out of the basement stairwell, surveys the main floor with the glasses. Everything looks clear, but it's all dark areas of the house. Your eyes can easily play tricks on you, seeing movements that may or may not be there. Maggie, see anything? Rafkin, no, that's what makes me nervous. Rafkin and Maggie move slowly through the room. Maggie's clamped onto Rafkin, petrified. Interior trap room, with Bobby and Kathy, same time. Kathy comes suddenly awake, rubbing her head, focusing. What happened? She looks around the room. Bobby sitting beside her. Dried tear streaks run down his face. Bobby. Kathy. Bobby, oh my God, you all right? Been looking all over for you. Bobby, near tears again. I saw you and Dad before. I yelled, but you didn't see me. She sits up, puts her arm around him. It's gonna be okay. Bobby. Mom's here. Kathy looks around. Where are we? What part of the house? Bobby. I don't know. Mom's here, Cassie. Kathy looks at him. What do you mean? Here? She's one of them. She's like in the hospital with all those bandages on her. Kathy doesn't know what to say. Do you believe me? Kathy. I'm not sure what to believe. Kathy holds her brother close while they wait. Kath? Yeah? I hate this house. I just want to go home. I know, kiddo. So do I. We're going to get out of here soon. I'm sure Dad's on our way right now. On his way right now. Off her hopeful look, we cut to interior basement with Arthur and Kalina. Arthur and Kalina are in front of the blocked-off staircase. Kalina's flipping through her book, studying the map of the house. Arthur keeps lookout for anything out of the ordinary. Arthur. Find anything? Kalina. Not yet. Arthur turns back around, and now, at the end of the hallway is the Jackal. The way the script's written, there's like double hyphens, and it's like all caps, so it's like a serious moment. And now, at the end of the hallway is the Jackal. Arthur. Oh, damn, it's back. Hurry up. Kalina. I'm hurrying! But when he looks back, it's gone. Shit, I lost it. Arthur panics. Do something, for Christ's sake! Kalina gets in Arthur's face. Show a little backbone. No matter how much I hated your uncle, he always managed some. The words sting Arthur, and for the first time, he knows it's always been a problem. Okay. Kalina's still rifling through her book. If I can just pinpoint where things have moved to. Arthur peers around the corner, and the Jackal's back, closer. Arthur. You want to read a little faster? Our friend's back. Kalina drops her knapsack to the floor, removes a flare from her bag, hands it to Arthur. Kalina. Light it. It's Quicksilver. Arthur ignites the flare. The burning metal disrupts its spiritual energy and buys us time. Arthur. How many of these do you have left? Kalina. 3. 3? You couldn't have brought a few more? I didn't plan on giving a tour of the place. Finds what she's looking for in the book. Here it is. The book is open to one of the layouts. A red square is indicated in one of the blocks. Oh my god, what is this? 30 pages left? My throat is gone. Kalina. We gotta get to the library. It has spell protection all around it. Arthur. Where is it from here? Kalina shifts the book around to see where they are. Above us, to the right. Kalina notices the glass box above them in the ceiling. Arthur sees where she's going with this, and we cut to interior main floor corridor with Rafkin and Maggie. Rafkin and Maggie have backed themselves into a corner. Rafkin's looking at 2 figures, the fat man and the little woman, making their way down the corridors to them. That's different, isn't it? Because it's not just a man and a woman, it's a mother and son. So that was changed as well, I think. Yes, hello, Grace. Fuck you too. Mabel! You can tell my voice is going. Kalina notices the interior main floor corridor with Rafkin and Maggie. Rafkin and Maggie have backed themselves into a corner. Rafkin's looking at 2 figures. Oh my god, I read this whole thing. Mabel made me so mad, I forgot. Maggie, panicked. Just tell me when I'm supposed to scream, because I ain't gonna die without screaming my goddamn head off. Rafkin's looking at the 2 ghosts, the fat man and little woman, through the glasses. They quickly slip back into the darkness. He notices the pilgrims on the other end of the pilgrims. Shouldn't just be the pilgrimess on the other end of the corridor. They're being cornered. Whatever. I'm going to not think about that. Rafkin. Not yet. Oh, sorry. Not yet, but take a deep breath. Suddenly, a glass block on the floor behind them pops open, and a flare is tossed through. It lands on the floor, illuminating the corridor. The ghostly figures quickly disperse. A hand appears, and Kalina is shoved through the hole. Maggie screams. Rafkin freaks. What the fuck? Interior basement with Arthur. Kalina's legs disappear through the ceiling. Arthur, holding out the flare, scans the basement around him. The figures still remain at bay. That's when the flare burns out. Arthur shakes it once, twice, then, knowing it's out for good, stands alone, helpless in the single patch of light coming from the ceiling. He looks to his left and sees the crab-like creature scurrying down the corridor. From the other direction comes a large silhouette, which is the hammer. Arthur. Miss Hortensia. Interior, main floor, corridor, blah, 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 back where we were. Kalina notices the two of them. Rafkin recognizes her. She recognizes him. Rafkin. What are you doing here? I should ask you the same question, heretic. Hack. They both size each other up. Arthur, off-screen, calling up from below. Hey, remember me? Rafkin and Maggie peer into the hole and see Arthur below. Shit, pull him up! Pull him up! Rafkin reaches his hand into the hole, and Arthur grabs it. They pull him up through the hole, just as the hammer swings. An explosion of sparks erupts in the basement. Thank you for taking your time. Really. Kalina rechecks the book. All right. At the end of the hall, make a right, then another right, and then... Rafkin. Where are we going? Kalina. The library. It's the safest place in the house. The walls are surrounded entirely with spells. Rafkin, referring to her book. How the hell would you know? Kalina holds up the book. Rafkin ain't biting. Kalina. Trust me. Rafkin. Arthur? Arthur. Trust her. Arthur notices the flare going out. Could we please just save all our questions for the library? Kalina. All right, let's move. Kalina ignites another flare and guides them down the corridors. Rafkin. Where'd your daughter go? Arthur. I don't know. She disappeared. How could you lose an entire family in a glass house? Arthur tosses Rafkin a look just as they turn the corridor, and the jackal leaps out of the shadows and pounces on Arthur's back. The jackal's tearing into Arthur, dragging him down the hallway. Kalina tosses her flare down the hall at them, and the ghost jumps off Arthur, shrinking. Rafkin quickly grabs Arthur and pulls him into the library. Interior, main floor, library. They stumble in.
Oh my god, I had to take a break. My throat was killing me.
Anyways. Arthur. So much for the Quicksilver. Kalina. We should be safe in here. Arthur lands on the couch in pain. Maggie's by his side. Rafkin bangs on the glass, pissed. Shit! You think I'd be used to these things by now? Kalina. They don't seem to like you either. Kalina takes a seat at the desk. Begins reading through her book. Kalina. I wonder why. Rafkin. Look, you got something to say, spit it out. Kalina. All right. Let's start with, this is all your fault? If you hadn't caught them, we wouldn't be running from them now, would we? Rafkin. Hey, I didn't build his house. Blame his crazy uncle for that one. Kalina. But you helped him. How could you help him without knowing what he was up to? Rafkin. I had my reasons. Kalina. You stole people's souls for money. How depraved is that? Rafkin. Before that, I was working for a psychic hotline. Tried that for depraved. Look, Cyrus took me in when no one else would. In case you haven't noticed, I am a freak. Dead people give me migraines. I can't touch a single person without suddenly seeing all their problems. Do you know how lonely that is? No one accepted me except him. Kalina. He didn't accept you. He used you. Rafkin looks away, ashamed. Arthur to Kalina. Look, cut me some slack. What difference does it make? These things are all killers anyway, so what do we care? Kalina turns to Rafkin. You didn't tell him, did you? Rafkin lowers his head. Arthur. Tell me what? Kalina. About the fourth ghost? Rafkin. Don't do this. Kalina. He has a right to know. Arthur, concerned. What about the fourth ghost? Kalina. Let me help you out. St. Luke's Hospital, 6 months ago. The realization hits Arthur hard. He turns to Rafkin. Jean's here? I had no idea she was your wife. Arthur, I swear. Who's making noises over there? Arthur clocks Rafkin with a roundhouse punch, sending him flying over the couch. Sorry, I was listening. Someone came to the door, and I was making sure it wasn't you. I don't want to spoil nothing. Arthur. Why? She never hurt anyone. Rafkin. I don't know. Cyrus handpicked every one of them. Your wife included. When I realized who you were, I tried to help. Arthur. Tried to help? We're trapped. My kids are missing. My wife, who should be resting in peace, is being held hostage by the house from hell. And you call this help? She's right. This is all your goddamn fault. Rafkin takes the holding. Arthur paces the room. Son of a bitch! Kalina. There is a way to save her, Arthur. And your kids, too. Arthur stops pacing. Turns to her. Kalina. This house, it isn't a house. It's a machine. It's a complete recreation of the Basilius design. Reading from the book. According to this, there should only be 12 earthbound spirits trapped inside here. Arthur walks over, and she shows him the book. Kalina. You see these? They're the Black Zodiac. They represent the different ghosts that Cyrus needed to catch. The withered lover, the firstborn son, the torn prince, and here, the great child and the dire mother, the suicide, the torso, and the buried maiden. She's not called that in the movie. Then there's the 3 death signs, the signs of hell's winter, the hammer, the hyena, and the juggernaut. As Kalina counts through the ghosts of Arthur, that's a weird word. As Kalina counts through the ghosts of Arthur, forever the math teacher distinctively counts them off on his fingers. Kalina flips through a few more pages. But you said he was a literature teacher earlier. That's a very weird written sentence as well. Kalina. According to Basilius, this machine requires the energy of these specific spirits in order to bring it to life. Once engaged, the spirits are freed one by one, each adding its energy to the machine, powering it up. Arthur. Powering it up for what? To open the Ocularis Infernum. Rafkin. Ocularis? What's that? Arthur. It's Latin. It means the eye of hell. Maggie. The eye of hell? Rafkin. Come on, Arthur. This is bullshit. Maggie. I saw a man carrying his own head. The eye of hell isn't a stretch. Arthur. Go on. Kalina. In hell, there's an... Who's talking? Thought I heard you. I think I do hear you. Don't you sneak up on me. I'm going to get quiet so you can't... No, is that Jody? That's Jody. Okay. Never mind. If you sneak up on me, I'll fucking kill you. In hell, there's an eye that sees the whole world. Past and future, heaven and earth, the blessed and the damned. If knowledge is power, then the man who controls the Ocularis would be the most powerful man on earth. Your uncle was planning to become God. A beat passes. Arthur. So how many ghosts have been set free? Kalina checks the book. 11. Arthur. And it needs 12 ghosts to power it up? Rafkin shakes his head. What about this 13th ghost? Even Damon mentioned it. Kalina. It's a failsafe, yes, in order to stop the process. The house needs a sacrifice of life instead of death. A willing human sacrifice. The sacrifice of the broken heart. All eyes turn on Arthur. Rafkin. The 13th ghost? Kalina. Exactly. The 13th spirit stands before the eye as the final configuration culminates. As the eye opens, the spirit uses the power of life to essentially short-circuit the system. Arthur. Use the power of life? Kalina swallows hard. By leaping into the eye. Arthur. Thanks for painting the picture. Rafkin, scoffing. Power of life? Referencing the book. Let me see that. Rafkin studies the book, looking at it from different angles. It's obvious he doesn't know what he's looking at. A beat passes. Maggie. Isn't there any other way? Kalina. We can try it the old-fashioned way, but nobody's going to be able to brag about it later. She opens her bag, shows Maggie and Rafkin the dynamite. A long beat passes. Kalina. Whatever we decide, we have to come up with a game plan soon. Time's running out. Rafkin takes a seat next to Arthur on their couch. Kalina's out of earshot, working out their plan. Arthur thinking, while fidgeting with Rafkin's power and light tool belt left there from before. Rafkin, hey, I know why you feel you have to do this. Arthur, get away from me. Rafkin, psychics call it linking. We linked earlier. I know everything about Jean, about you. Shut up. Believe me, you did the right thing. I'm not going to listen to this from you. But Kalina's talking suicide, Arthur. Yeah, and if it saves my kids... But how do you know she's right? Think about it for a second. It just doesn't add up. Arthur. And what does? Huh, Dennis? How much of this fucking equation makes sense? You got a better idea? Because I'm fresh out of sanity at the moment. Rafkin. Just think about it for a minute, that's all. Arthur. In case you haven't been counting, I'm out of time here. There aren't many options to consider, Mr. Psychic. Rafkin. What happened to Kathy and Bobby's options? You gonna give up on those too? Arthur grabs Rafkin by the shirt and pins him to the wall. You can go to hell! You hear me, you son of a bitch? To hell! All I can think about are my kids, goddammit. I don't even know if they're alive. Ooh, hiccup. Arthur is just about to lose it when Rafkin approaches. There's a dog sniffing outside my door. That's terrifying. Arthur is just about to lose it when Rafkin approaches. Let's find out, Arthur. For them. Well, there's still time, so you'll know. So we'll all know. After listening to himself, Arthur recollects himself one last time. Arthur to Kalina. No matter what happens to me, to us all, do you think you can stop the machine? You can come in. The door is cracked. You can use your... That was Gracie's fucking hounding me. Kalina. I got enough dynamite here to blow this place back to the 15th century. That's the question. Arthur. Okay, how many flares do you have left? 1. Why? We're going out again. Maggie. Arthur! It's crazy! There's things out there will kill you! Arthur. Not if we take that. Arthur points at one of the doors in the library. He and Rafkin remove the hinges off the spell-etched glass door, using the tools from the belt, written inside of the spells. He hands the door to Rafkin. Rafkin. All right, we got ourselves a Captain America shield, baby. Don't think they say that. Kalina. We have about 10 minutes before the last ghost is released and the ectoplasmic shit hits the cosmic fan. Arthur nods. Maggie and Arthur share a last look, then follow Rafkin out the door of the library. 20 pages left. I need to get through this. My throat is dying. Please let most of this be dialogue. I know it's not. I'm looking at it. Most of it is not dialogue at all. Oh my goodness. It's like all big old descriptions. Okay, anyways, back to it. I was just double checking some stuff. They're both holding opposite sides of the door. The corridor is empty, covered with dark patches. They carefully inch their way down the corridor, passing dark areas. Double check the recording. They reach a couple of dark patches and slowly walk past, prepared for anything. When suddenly, out of the shadows, the 50s kid swings his bat and smacks the door. Sparks fly. Rafkin. Shit! He's swinging for the fence. Arthur. Ran him on 3. Funny. Rafkin and Arthur brace themselves. The 50s kid continues to whack away at the door. Rafkin. Fast count. 1, 2, 3! They drive the 50s kid into the wall, pressing the door against him. Sparks light up the corridor. The 50s kid is going crazy. There's a huge burst of ectoplasmic sparks, then he vanishes. Arthur. That's more like it. Arthur spots an opening behind them. This way. Arthur guides them down another corridor. The next scene is omitted. There's a lot of shit they don't want me knowing about this movie. Okay. Interior hallway basement. After flashing a flare before them, Kalina and Maggie drop through the ceiling, back into the basement. They make their way through the glass hallway, coming to a door. As Kalina approaches it, Gracie, you can come in, hon. I know you're able to open doors. Just use your face. Sorry. They make their way through the glass hallway, coming to a door. As Kalina approaches it, she stumbles across Ben's sliced corpse. Maggie gasps at the remains. Oh, God. Looks like we found the lawyer. Kalina, hold the flare still. I'm almost there. Kalina reaches around the doorway, clicks the door open. Interior, basement, Clockwork's room. The gears are spinning and grinding at the highest speed. Kalina quickly rushes over to the base of the machine with the Arcanum, trying to figure out how it works. A shadow figure moves past the door outside the Clockwork's room. Maggie, hurry up! Kalina, I'm working on it! Kalina's following the manual. She studies the different levers and what each does. Maggie turns and comes face to face with Cyrus's ghost. She jumps, then quickly jabs the flare at him. But to her surprise, he doesn't react. Instead, he takes a step towards her. She tries to ward him off again with the flare, but he takes another step. Maggie, damn, Kalina, you better get over here. This shit ain't working anymore. Maggie's panicking, and then her flare starts to go up. Hurry your ass up! She backs up, and she's hit over the head from behind. She lands on the floor and goes out like a light. Cyrus's ghost approaches the body, and so does Kalina. The faint flare illuminates both of them. In Kalina's hand, we see the Arcanum. It's obvious she just struck Maggie with it. Kalina removes her glasses and looks over at Cyrus's ghost. He's still there, hasn't vanished. Mother is calling me. Yeah?
You coming?
Are people here?
Yeah.
Oh, no one told me. I was...
Sorry, we've been up here waiting on you. Come on.
Not a single person called or texted me.
We expected you to have a sixth sense.
No.
Okay, love you.
No,
Come
you too.
on.
Bye. Alright, I'll have to finish this later, but we just got to the big old twist. And then, apparently you just assumed I'd know, like I'm not busy doing shit. Fuck you. Mwah. Alright, I'm back. So, I think what was going on with that Simpsons stuff that I was dealing with, I think the button did work and everything. The problem is that the episode was already, loaded up as the widescreen one, and then even though I changed it back, I don't think it was actually reloading the episode. It must have kept it in a cache or something. So it kept pulling the cache for the episode, which was in the widescreen format. So it never went to check back that I wanted it, because I went to the next episode, and immediately after changing stuff, and it worked just fine. I don't know why some of the bits in the episode were in 4x3. That was pretty confusing. I have to assume that those are even smaller in the normal release. I don't know. Anyways, where were we? Right, he's still there. Hasn't vanished. They embrace and kiss. And then the flare completely goes out, plunging the room into darkness. And we cut to interior hallway. Arthur and Rafkin are still walking the halls, wearing glasses. They're on edge, nervously looking in all directions. At any moment, something could jump out of the shadows at them. Rafkin, there's no place like home. There's no place like home. Arthur, knock it off. Rafkin spots the hammer appear behind Arthur at the end of the hall. The hammer makes eye contact with Rafkin and charges. Rafkin, oh shit. Before Arthur even has time to turn around, Rafkin heroically shoves Arthur into the corner, pinning him safely behind the shield. Rafkin turns and faces the charging hammer. He's leaning back on the glass, preventing Arthur from getting out. Arthur, behind the door. What are you doing? Rafkin, don't worry about it, Arthur. I've been looking for a reason to like myself for a long time now. The hammer approaches, but Rafkin's not running. The hammer stops right in front of Rafkin. Rafkin gulps. Arthur, behind glass. Dennis, no! Don't do this! Rafkin, to the hammer. Hey, big guy. No hard feelings, huh? Stops himself. Who am I kidding? Look at you. The hammer prepares to strike when a terrifying howl comes from the belly of the house. It gets everyone's attention, even the ghosts. Arthur. What the hell was that? Rafkin checks his watch. To Arthur. We're out of time. Rafkin turns back to the hammer, who grins an evil grin, then strikes. Interior basement. Clockwork's room. Another howl echoes through the room. Cyrus and Kalina watch as the 12th sign lines up and clicks into place, releasing the breaker. Kalina turns to him, pissed. Kalina. You know, it's one thing for me to have spent all that time with that idiot Damon, kill him, and then steal his spells. Now I gotta babysit your stupid nephew so he doesn't get himself killed before you need him? Enough is enough, Cyrus. Cyrus. But you did bring me Damon's spells, right? Kalina removes the book from her bag. She tears the leather cover off the back of the book, and inside is a thin reel of audio tape. Kalina. I got your spells. But a deal's a deal, remember? We share everything 50-50. Cyrus snatches it from her, holds it up to the light, and examines it. Smiles when he realizes they're authentic. Don't you worry, Kalina. You'll get everything you deserve. Very stupid on Kalina's part to not hold some of that leverage until later. Like, hey, don't give him everything he wants until he gives you the money or the 50% or whatever the fuck. I guess she wants 50% of whatever the heck this ritual's supposed to do. I don't know how you prove that. She should have had some more leverage, is all. Cyrus places a reel-to-reel machine on the table. Interior corridor, with Rafkin and Arthur. The hammer swings on Rafkin, who dodges the attack. The strike whacks the glass. Sparks fly. Arthur reacts. Rafkin, getting cocky. That the best you can do? My mother hits harder than that. The hammer's now enraged. He swings again, and again Rafkin dodges the strike, bobbing and weaving, like Ali in the ring. Not Ali, like Ali in the ring. So I guess the movie certainly did not portray that Rafkin can fucking actually bob and weave. I'm imagining that now. I'm imagining him doing that. The hammer coming at him with jabs, and he just fucking his head's going back and forth. That would be fun. Rafkin. You ain't got no speed, old man. What's the matter? That hammer weighing you down? The hammer's swinging wildly, but Rafkin, surprisingly, has quicker reflexes, and it's pissing the hammer off. Rafkin evades another attack, and out of the corner of his eye, he spots the breaker turning the corner. From his massive size, he realizes who it is. Rafkin. Mother of Christ. Arthur sees the breaker approaching. He grows larger as he gets closer. It's interesting that they seem to really focus on the size. He was a big man in the movie, but honestly, it felt like the hammer here was bigger, just as like he was way more muscular feeling, I guess is the problem. They needed a really big guy in order to like have the makeup of all the road spikes really shine. So I think they kind of took away from him truly how big the breaker is supposed to be from this script detailing. I totally lost my fucking words I couldn't think of. Interior basement, Clockwork's room. Cyrus is setting up a reel-to-reel machine. Kalina's beside him. Kalina. So, what are you going to do now? Your nephew believes the sacrifice is going to stop this thing, but you'll never get him to jump into the eye, not until he finds his kids. Then let's give them to him. Tosses her some rope. Go tie them up. Kalina. Cyrus, I can't. Why not? You know as well as I do that human lives are the price of human achievement. How many lives went into the construction of the pyramids, the Great Wall of China, the space program? It's Darwinism at its finest. Now step aside. I don't know why I said Darwinism. It's Darwinism. Now step aside. I need to finish setting this up. And you need to do your job. Kalina walks out of the room with the rope, and Cyrus finishes threading the reel-to-reel machine with the audio tape. Then he flips a switch. Interior corridor with Rafkin and Arthur. Arthur watches helplessly as Rafkin is smacked by the hammer, right into the breaker's arms. Arthur. No! Arthur pushes the glasses off him to get out. But the breaker slams Rafkin into the glass, which again pins Arthur behind it. Rafkin tries to haul away, but the hammer smashes him over the back with his hammer. Rafkin is bloody and bruised on his last legs. Arthur once again tries to push the glass off him to get out, but Rafkin slaps his bloody hand on the glass, makes eye contact with Arthur, shakes his head, telling Arthur not to come out. Rafkin, slurring. Save your kids. The breaker picks Rafkin up and smashes him against the glass door. His broken body leaves a bloody smear as it slides to the floor. Arthur. Dennis! Arthur sinks to his knees, crushed. He looks up, and the ghosts are gone. He completely falls apart. Then, suddenly, another ghost appears on the other side of the glass. Arthur looks up and sees Jean, as we saw her before, standing there, staring at him. Arthur looks at her, dumbstruck. Jean? She tilts her head in response, sadness and longing in her face. Arthur can't hold it back anymore. A wave of emotion rushes over him as he bursts into tears. I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. I should have went back in after you. Jean looks at him, shakes her head, letting him know he did the right thing. I miss you so much. Arthur reaches out and places his hand against the glass to touch her on the other side when... Interior basement, Clockwork's room. Cyrus finishes setting up the reel-to-reel. Jesus, my God, man, you've been setting this shit up forever. Then he switches on the machine. A chanting sound. Alright, that got fixed up. That was being real weird. Alright, so we said, what were we at? A chanting sound. A chanting sound. The spell is being read over and over. Very similar to what was used to lure the breaker in the opening scene, comes over the speakers in the house. Only these are richer in tone and texture. Stronger. I am personally imagining the opening to Hooked on a Feeling, just that whole time. Ooga chaka, ooga chaka, ooga chaka, chaka, ooga chaka. Something like that. Something like, that's what's happening. Cyrus turns to Kalina. Time to finish this. Cut to interior house. Various shots of ghosts, reacting with revulsion as they're engulfed by the chanting. They slowly begin to vanish one by one. Interior corridor with Arthur and Jean. Arthur has his hand on the glass. Jean's about to put her hand against his when the chanting sound hits her, and her hand slowly fades out of sight. Arthur watches her disappear in front of him, leaving Arthur Kritikos completely alone. A beat passes. Then Arthur looks up and sees Kathy and Bobby rising out of the center island of the Ocularis in the Great Hall. Tied back to back, they are helpless. Off Arthur's reaction, and then the next scene is also omitted. I'm going to try to figure out what the fuck is going on with that in another day, because that's so interesting. I did cursory Googles and I couldn't find anything. I'll have to, fucking ask Reddit, maybe. So, scene 85. Interior Clockwork's room. Cyrus steps over Maggie's body, heads to the door. I don't know what the fuck happened in that scene, but okay. I assume they mean the unconscious body from before, but it's just kind of weird that it's not said there, whatever. Cyrus. The final configuration's starting. Gather your things, let's go. Kalina picks up her knapsack. Then abruptly, she hears a hiss. Turns. Cyrus has stepped through an open doorway on the neighboring wall, and that door has just snapped shut. Cyrus? Cyrus presses a stud. There's another hiss. Kalina turns pale. The door separating her from the fallen Maggie has just slid aside. She turns to Cyrus. Cyrus, stop screwing around. Let me out of here. Goodbye, my dear. Thanks for all your help. Maybe we'll see each other again on the other side. He smiles, hits another switch. The walls surrounding Kalina begin closing in on her. Motherfuck. She kicks the glass, tries holding it back. No use. It keeps coming. Panic starts to set in. The glass moves in closer, finally pinning her. Oh God, no, please. Her face is pressed up against the glass, her breasts flattened. Again, what horny motherfucker incel was writing this? You don't have to specify her breasts are also getting squished and, oh, isn't it so hot the way her breasts are getting squeezed together? Dude, she's getting squished to death between walls. It was set up earlier in the movie. It's been paid off. It was in the script. You don't have to specify the tits. I'm not even adding that. It literally says that. Her face is pressed up against the glass. Her breasts flattened. You could have said her nose flattened, right? That's something that gives away how much pressure's on her. But no, the titties. Her eyes go wide. She starts to scream and scream. We start to hear the snapping of ribs. Her arms narrower than her body claw uselessly at the glass. It doesn't have an exclamation point there, so it kind of isn't meant to be a scream. It's more like a Her head, now turned sideways, is being pressed flatter and flatter. Abruptly, there's a ghastly dull clunk as her skull splits and blood and brains splatter out. The walls continue to close, crushing her body, flattening, distending it, until there is nothing recognizable. And still the walls keep closing, until the entire inner surface, from wall to wall and floor to ceiling, is filled with microscopically thin red smear that was once Kalina. Interior Great Hall. The chanting is echoing throughout the house.
Ooga chaka, ooga chaka.
The ocularis has begun to spin with Kathy and Bobby still seated in the center. One of the outer rings is slowly circling around them, when it suddenly lifts up, swirling around them like a blade. Bobby. Kathy! Kathy. Don't look! I don't want to look! Then the second outer ring flaps up next, and begins spinning in the opposite direction. Arthur appears in the doorway to the Great Hall. The kids spot him. Dad! Arthur sees their predicament, raises his glasses. Along with them are the ghosts surrounding the kids, each standing next to their symbols along the outermost ring. Daddy, get us out of here. Just don't move. Arthur approaches the outer ring, just as a third inner ring flaps up, spinning in yet another direction, creating the combination of a meat grinder and a mixer. The ocularis is working its way closer to the kids. The kids slouch down. Make it stop, Dad! Make it stop! Arthur notices Cyrus's ghost standing at the edge of the corridor, a spectator to the deadly game. He's taken aback by the old man's presence, finally recognizing him. Cyrus, in parentheses, losing it. Damn you for building this place! Cyrus doesn't respond. Do something! Help me save the kids! The ghost raises his hand, pointing into the ocularis, motioning for Arthur to jump in. And that will stop everything. A fourth inner ring flaps up, working its way closer to the center. The kids are freaking out. Arthur looks from his kids to the spinning rings and back to Cyrus. He wrestles with what he should do. Then his eyes land on Jean. She looks so sad, staring at her hysterical kids, helpless. Arthur's choice is made. He steps up to the ocularis, standing in front of the spinning gears. He prepares himself for what he's about to do. Arthur's interior Great Hall, continuous action. This is scene 86B, I see. Arthur starts forward into the hall, ready to take his place amongst the ghosts. Arthur, to his kids, I want you guys to know, I love you more than anything. The kids realizing what he's doing. Dad, don't. Daddy! It kills Arthur to see them like this. He can't let them die and make the same mistake he made before. He'd never be able to live with himself. This is his chance to redeem himself for Jean. I get it's a script and it has to be more blatant, but come on, guys, I get it. You don't have to say it outright. I'm critiquing the subtlety of the writing when it's a note in the script that's never in the thing. It's just meant to be this is what you're supposed to be getting. I shouldn't critique it, but fuck you. Arthur, it's the only way. I'm sorry. Take care of each other. Arthur takes a long look around at the macabre scene before him. First, to the ghosts that circle the eye, each still trapped in his or her own hell. Then Arthur focuses on the blades that swirl around him, threatening to dice his family, all that he loves. Then Arthur looks down into the fiery mechanical purgatory that is the eye of hell, its gigantic gears grinding away, the steel bathed in crimson light, driving the house/machine toward its fantastic culmination. Finally, to the symbols on the outer ring that flash by at Arthur's feet. The whole effect does something to Arthur, especially the mesmerizing symbols flying by. We suddenly intercut with flashback, pages of Arcanum, flipping by in the library in flashback as Kalina explains the ghosts. Kalina in flashback. According to this, there should only be 12 earthbound spirits trapped inside here. We cut back to Arthur's hand, doing something a math teacher does naturally, counting off with his fingers. The symbols float by in Arthur's gaze in slow motion. We cut back to Kalina, her explanation. The withered lover, the firstborn son, the torn prince, and here the bound lady. The great child and the dire mother, the suicide, the torso, and the buried maiden. And then there's the 3 death signs. The sign of hell's winter, the hammer, the hyena, and the juggernaut. Arthur takes in each of the ghosts, confirming Kalina's description. We cut back to Arthur's other hand. He's still tallying up the number of ghosts he's counting off in his head. 9, 10, 11, 12. 12. 12. It says that 3 times, by the way, in pacing. Arthur flashes back to the library one final time. This time it's Rafkin doing the talking. Flashback. It just doesn't add up. Arthur holds up his hands before his eyes. 12. There are 12 ghosts on the ring. If I'm the 13th ghost... Interior main floor corridor. Continuous action. Arthur looks back into the hallway. There still stands Cyrus's ghost. Arthur slowly takes off his glasses. Cyrus is still standing there. You son of a bitch! Cyrus realizes he's been made. Arthur runs over and grabs his uncle, throwing him into the wall. Arthur throws a punch, landing a hard right on Cyrus. Stop the machine! Arthur punches Cyrus again and again. Cyrus stumbles backwards, regains himself, smiles, then goes after Arthur. Well, it's nice to see you have some of the family blood in you after all. The two men go at it. Arthur's fighting for his life. He's like a wild man, throwing everything he's got, hitting Cyrus everywhere. In the face, the body. Do they fight in the movie? I thought Cyrus is like behind a piece of glass at some point here and he can't get to him. Maybe I'm misremembering. You took everything I loved, you monster! Everything! In parentheses, with every blow. Now, I want it back! But Arthur has never been a warrior. Cyrus, spotting his opportunity, retaliates. Cyrus connects with Arthur in the face, knocking him down. Then he kicks Arthur in the gut a few times, making sure he stays down. How dare you stand in the way of history, Arthur? You are nothing, you hear me? Nothing! I dedicated my entire life to this. Every goddamn day. When have you ever shown that kind of dedication, huh? To anything! He kicks Arthur repeatedly, like a sick mind kicking a dog to death. You make me sick. Intercut Clockwork's room. Maggie slowly comes to, awakened from the irritating noises of the chanting. Ooga chaka, ooga chaka. The huge gear works before her, are spinning madly now. She notices Kalina's bloody, squashed remains in the glass beyond. Maggie, reacting to Kalina. Jesus! Man, what is that noise? Then she notices the reel-to-reel machine on the table. Maggie reaches the machine and looks for an off switch. Can't find one. The chanting sound is unbearable. Ooga chaka, ooga chaka. She finally shoves the machine off the table, and it goes crashing on the floor. Interior Great Hall. Arthur regains himself when Cyrus appears over him. Cyrus, out of breath. The world hasn't time for small people, Arthur. People like you, or Dennis, or Kalina. It needs those who are willing to do anything, without question, for what they believe in. Arthur. You son of a bitch! Arthur rises to attack. But Cyrus stops him with a steel sword he pulls from his cane. He points the blade beneath Arthur's chin. Arthur's eyes dart around, searching for a last way out. Cyrus sparks Arthur, thinking. I'm sorry, Arthur. Unlike Jean, you haven't got a choice this time. Now make the sacrifice, or your children will die. The chanting, ooga chaka, sounds suddenly end. Silence. Cyrus looks around in shock and confusion, as does Arthur. That's when he sees Bobby's scooter come rolling behind Cyrus from the other side of the corridor. Arthur quickly seizes the moment and kicks Cyrus's legs, throwing him off balance, stumbling backwards, right into the path of the scooter. And that's a fun writing callback, right? The kid leaves his shit everywhere. Like a banana peel, Cyrus slips on it and lands on his ass. Arthur scoops up his cane as Cyrus struggles to get back to his feet. When Cyrus turns back around, Arthur cracks him across the chest with the cane, sending Cyrus sailing down the hall. He lands at the opening of the Great Hall, stunned by what just happened. He glances back at the scooter, then over to where it came. Nothing. He slips on his glasses for a moment, and there, standing casually in the corridor, is the ghost of Dennis Rafkin. Never bet against human nature, Arthur. You'll always lose. Arthur smiles and thanks. Cut to Cyrus, just as he comes to on the floor. He looks, and there's nothing there. Arthur puts on his glasses and sees 12 very deadly ghosts standing around him. Standing around Cyrus. Sorry. The ghosts of the house reach down and grab Cyrus.
Get away! No!
Arthur watches as the ghosts tear into Cyrus. It's a feeding frenzy. The last one to tear in is the Breaker. Cyrus suffers a horrible ending.
Let me go! No!
I am personally now imagining the scene from the episode of Smiling Friends with the Forest Demon, where it ends with him like, whoa, is that fucking blackface dude? And then all the Halloween party guests just start fucking eating him. I'm imagining that. Interior, Great Hall, Ghost POV. Cyrus is born into the hall on the shoulders of the ghosts he enslaved. Continued from Children's POV. He's floating in, kicking and screaming all by himself. Back to scene. The children aren't sure what to think. They only know they too will join their uncle unless something happens. Their father rushes to the door. Arthur, to his kids. Don't look! The ghosts lift Cyrus above their heads, all bloody and broken bones, bleeding and mangled, and throw him into the spinning gears of the Ocularis. Which, that's a good thing to do as well, because obviously the movie's stupid if it ends with the Eye of Hell opening up. Just because, it's kind of vague still what that is in this version of the script. I've read some things that apparently there was, a lot more lore that, as the movie sort of changed hands with directors and stuff, it got whittled away at. So that would never happen. But it's a thing that Saw struggles with a lot, in particular, where you have this awesome trap set up, and it took a lot of man hours to make this fake thing and design the trap. It's like, you want to see it done, right? You want to see someone get killed by these spinning blades and shit. But the thing is, the problem with that mentality is, especially the Saw, is well, then it becomes too predictable and boring if every single person fails their traps. It gets frustrating, and you see that in later movies where people just keep making the stupidest fucking decisions possible, or the traps seem so unfair, or so many other things. So it's a hard balance to walk, but, this one does it well. You got the setup, and someone does get killed in it, but it's not our main guy that was originally at threat. Blood and bones and flesh go flying. This, and the damage Maggie has caused down in the basement, causes the Ocularis to go haywire. Interior clockwork room, continuous action. Maggie stands before the mad machine as it whirls out of control. Maggie. Oh, sweet Lord, what did I do? Maggie, I don't like how I read that. Maggie backs toward the door. The clockworks are breaking apart all around her. She tries the handle. It's locked. Motherfucker. I want to point out the way that it's said here. It's spelled Mutherfucka. So I read that right. Motherfucker. The clockworks begin flying apart. Gears and bits of machinery start bursting through the glass walls of the clockworks room. Interior Great Hall, continuous action. The great glass groans deeply as the torquing of the clockworks causes sheets of glass to fall from their frames. 2 more rings have flipped up, the blades getting closer and closer to the center of the Ocularis and the kids. Glass begins to break up all around Arthur. Shards of glass rain down. He knows he doesn't have much time. Kathy holds Bobby close, protecting him. Daddy! Arthur doesn't know what to do, but he does know that he can't leave them there the same way he did with Jean. Arthur, just hang on, I'm coming! Arthur backs up and takes a running jump through the spinning blades, just barely landing on the center of the island of the Ocularis with Kathy and Bobby. Now, I will say that that isn't actually picked up on as the movie. It does seem like a weird thing, I'm not sure what is going to help you by jumping in there. The machine's broken, so it's not going to do the ritual that probably wouldn't have saved his kids anyways, let's be honest. But here, when you're watching the movie, it's okay, I guess you just ran into, you get the father instinct and everything, but it's one of those weird, goofy things that's done more for the shot to look good. But the undertone here of not just, there's obviously the undertone of wanting to save him, but where they spell out, where he didn't go back inside for his wife, so it's I have to go back to them. That actually, I think that works out well. Yeah. So he barely lands. Continued. He looks for a way off, but between the glass and the blades, he knows there's no way they're getting out of there. Arthur holds them both tight, covering their eyes. Don't move! Keep your head down! Interior Clockwork's room basement. As Maggie's eyes go wide. Oh, that's a single shot as we go to Maggie. Jesus Christ, this scene is getting to like scene 88F. Interior Great Hall. The house starts to blow apart. Glass rains down. Arthur holds his kids tight. The house is crumbling all around them. The only place that's safe is where the three are standing. The fury builds to a crescendo of destruction and then finally collapses, followed by silence. Dust and smoke everywhere, blurring our vision. As it begins to dissipate, three figures slowly come into frame. Arthur, Kathy, and Bobby are standing on the only remaining section of the house left, the center island of the Ocularis. All around them lies what's left of the house, a veritable skeleton of steel. The three of them open their eyes to survey the destruction. You guys okay? Bobby nods. Kathy. How did you know we'd be safe here? I didn't. I just wasn't about to leave you guys. Kathy pulls her father into a tight hug. She's teary-eyed. I love you, Dad. I love you too. As they look up, they notice Jean, standing on the outer ring, circling around them. She's back to looking like her old healthy self, and she's smiling at her family. As she passes around them again, she's gone. Arthur holds his kids close, and that's when they hear Maggie off-screen. That's it! They all turn to see Maggie crawling out of the basement stairwell. She's a mess. She turns to Arthur and the kids. I'm through with this nanny shit. This was not in the job description. I'm sorry, you guys, but I quit. I quit! This puts a smile on Arthur, Kathy, and Bobby's faces as we fade out. And then I want to put here, so that was the end, that was scene 88F. There is something labeled scene 89, but it's also, again, omitted, and then it has the script at the end. Who knows what post-credit scene there originally was, or whatever the fuck that omitted scene was. There was supposed to be something. Again, I don't know. But yeah, the end.
Yeah!
I walk through the streets trying to figure out why I captivate people when I don't even try. It's like all the things I took for granted, but now that I'm older, I surely understand it. Every single day, try to carry out tasks to break another birthday. Life's moving too fast every minute, hour, each day and night. Make sure I keep focused and keep my mind right, never knowing what drama that life could bring. Inspiration through every song I make you sing, making sure I'm not overcome. Greed, I don't. You need for see. Where the fuck am I? Figuring snatch school at Disneyland, or maybe just Toys R Us and the mall. Her life is straight, baby girl. Gonna mirror, mirror on the wall. Who gonna survive? Who be next to fall? It might be today, it might be tomorrow. So until I get the call, I'ma say I did it all. Mirror, mirror on the wall. Who gonna survive? Who be next to fall? It might be today, it might be tomorrow. So until I get the call, I'ma say I did it all. Mom and Dad taught me to stay out of trouble, but no one can prepare you for life's inner struggles. The test of your courage when you're scared to death, or the taste of faith when in sinners right and left. The test of your strength when you're making life choices. I swear, strange voices, following advice my grandma gave me. I'm seeing her lately. She told me nothing in life was free. Be nice to folks who are nice to me. The song cut off. I gotta keep going. Turn the other cheek in most confrontations, no matter how bleak the situation. Oh, but most things I had to learn on my own, like what I'm gonna do by the time I got grown. Would have been nice to see a baby in a movie, multimedia, yours truly. Come on. Mirror, mirror on the wall. Who gonna survive? Who be next to fall? It might be today, it might be tomorrow. So until I get the call, I'ma say I did it all. Mirror, mirror on the wall. Who gonna survive? Who be next to fall?